Nepal's National Assembly unanimously approves the withdrawal of social media use and management bill following heavy scrutiny. 3 armed police force personnel injured after local traders' attack on a joint raid on an illegal warehouse in Birganj. Nepal's Election Commission prints 12.25 million FPTP ballot papers for March 5 polls, readies over 20 million proportional ballots. Nepal records 27 infant deaths for 1,000 live births, with Sudur Paschim worst affected. Fertility rate stands at 1.9. Sanae Takaichi leads the LDP to a historic 2/3 majority in Japan's lower house. Win gives her strong mandate to push pro-business policies. And Scotland sealed their first T20 World Cup win with a dominant 73-run victory over Italy. Good evening, I am Sarah Sapsanamarai and this is NTV World Prime Time News coming to you live from Kathmandu at 1900 hours Nepal time. Across the globe it's 1:15 p.m. in London, 10:15 p.m. in Tokyo and just after midnight in Sydney. Now the news in detail. Nepal's National Assembly has unanimously approved the withdrawal of a bill related to the use and management of social networking platforms. National Assembly Chair Naren Prasad Dahal tabled the motion for a decision and later announced that the bill had been withdrawn with unanimous consent. Earlier, Chairperson of the Legislation Management Committee, Tulasa Kumari Dahal, had presented the committee's report on the proposed legislation during the Assembly meeting. The bill had faced scrutiny with 155 amendment proposals submitted by 35 members of the upper house during committee deliberations. The Ministry of Communications and Information Technology had decided to withdraw the bill on February 3rd and formally requested the Parliament to do so. Three personnel of Nepal's armed police force APF were injured on Tuesday after they were attacked by a group of local traders during a raid on an illegal warehouse in Birganj in southern Nepal. 2 APF vehicles were also damaged in the incident. The raid was jointly conducted by the Birganj Customs Office and the armed police force at a warehouse located at the residence of Madan Prasad Gupta in Adarsh Nagar area, following suspicion that goods had been imported by evading customs duties. A clash broke out when the joint team attempted to seize illegally stored clothing. According to Mohan Bahadur Chetri, Superintendent of Police and Commanding Officer of APF Nepal No. 13 Battalion Headquarters, Parsa, 1 APF van and 1 jeep were damaged during the attack by the local trader group. The armed police force said the warehouse operator Madan Prasad Gupta had earlier been linked to a separate customs evasion case. Nepal's Election Commission has printed 12.25 million ballot papers so far for the first past-the-post FPTP elections of the House of Representatives scheduled for March 5. According to the Commission, the ballot papers cover 100 electoral constituencies across 44 districts. The printed ballot papers have already been packed into 10,759 boxes. Printing has been ongoing since the morning of January 30. Printing has been underway at Janak Education Materials Center in Sanotimi since January 6. In the initial phase, sample ballot papers were printed and distributed to districts. Meanwhile, under the proportional representation component of the electoral system, more than 20.83 million ballot papers have been printed, packed and verified and are now ready for dispatch. "75 licensed firearms have been handed over to police in Nepal's Baghé district as part of security preparations for the upcoming lower house elections scheduled for March 5. Deputy Superintendent of Police at the District Police Office in Baghé, Deepak Patali, said the firearms were submitted to various police posts and offices across the district. The District Administration Office had earlier urged all license holders to temporarily surrender their weapons to help ensure a secure election environment. The weapons will be returned to their owners after the election concludes. Meanwhile, preparations are also underway to conduct voter education programs in villages throughout the district. Officer-level government employees will serve as contact persons for voter education after receiving appropriate training. According to District Election Office Bake in fact has 3 electoral constituencies with a total of 350,371 registered voters. The district has 139 voting centres and 400 polling stations. We'll take a short break here. More news coming up. You're watching NTV World and welcome back to Prime Time News. The British Army Brigade of Gurkhas presented its 2025 annual report to President Ramchandra Podal at his office today. The delegation was led by Major General Gerald M. Strickland, CB DSO MBE, Colonel Commandant of the Brigade of Gurkhas. President Podal highlighted the long-standing ties between Nepal and the United Kingdom, noting collaboration on development, human welfare and peace, also including support for UN peacekeeping missions. He praised the Gurkhas for strengthening bilateral relations and acknowledged the role of Nepali community in the UK in boosting people-to-people connections. The President also noted ongoing diplomatic discussions to address concerns of ex-British Gurkhas, emphasizing resolution through bilateral mechanisms. He thanked the UK government for submitting the report, stating that relevant bodies would study it carefully. A report published by the National Statistics Office shows that in Nepal, 27 children per 1,000 live births die before reaching their first birthday, while the under-5 mortality rate is 31 per 1,000 live births. The report also notes that 17 newborns per 1,000 live births die within the first month. Provincially, the highest neonatal mortality rate is in Sudur Paschim province at 26 per 1,000 live births, while the lowest is in Bagmati province at 10. Likewise, infant mortality is highest in Sudur Paschim at 38 and lowest in Bagmati at 17. The under-5 mortality rate is highest in Sudur Paschim at 48 and lowest in Gandaki province at 20. According to Nepal Multiple Indicator Survey 2024, the total fertility rate is 1.9 children per woman. Among adolescents aged 15 to 19, there are 48 live births per 1,000 girls, while 11.2% of women aged 20 to 24 have given birth before turning 18. The Nepal Stock Exchange NEPSE reported that the benchmark index dropped 26.05 points, closing at 2,672.39 today. A total of 324 companies saw 2.6 million shares traded in 102,281 transactions, amounting to approximately $8.6 million. Among sectoral indices, the trading group index rose slightly by 0.24%, while other sector indices declined. Share prices of 212 companies fell, while only 42 companies saw gains. Kanikola Hydropower Company Limited recorded the largest single share gain, rising 9.97%. A discussion has been held on promotion of Nepal-Qatar economic development and tourism. The exchanges of cooperation also featured during the discussion. Such discussion was held among Minister for Culture, Tourism and Civil Aviation Anil Kumar Sinha, Qatari Ambassador to Nepal Mishal M. Al-Ansari and FNCCI President Chandra Prasad Thakal. Together in the discussion were Qatari leaders representing the business community and representatives of Qatar Airways. Even the issues of extension of flight and civil aviation were discussed in the meeting. They dwelt on potential of deepening cooperation between Nepal Airlines and Qatar Airways with additional destinations. On the occasion, Minister Sinha reminded that international airlines need to be further active to run Pokhara International Airport and Gautam Buddha International Airport in full capacity. He also sought Qatar Airways cooperation to this regard. Government ensures policy-level reform and facilitation for it, the minister assured. A Safe Driver campaign has been launched in Biratnagar, a major metropolitan city in eastern Nepal. The campaign aims to reduce road accidents and promote safe, disciplined and responsible operation of city safaris. Under this campaign, safety driver jackets have been distributed to city safari drivers who hold valid driving licenses and have received traffic training. Each jacket carries a unique number, and through this number, complete details of the city rickshaw driver are digitally recorded, enabling passengers to travel safely and with confidence. Likewise, since the Safe Driver jackets have been distributed only to Nepali citizens, it is believed that Indian city rickshaws will be gradually displaced. The District Traffic Police Office Morung has distributed jackets to 320 drivers, and the campaign will be expanded across Morung and other districts of Koshi province in eastern Nepal. Coming up next are the international updates. For now, a short break. Japan's Prime Minister Sanae Takaichi's Liberal Democratic Party has scored a historic victory in Sunday's election. The LDP won 316 out of 465 seats, marking the first time a single party has secured a two-thirds majority in Japan's lower house since 1947. Together with its coalition partner, the Japan Innovation Party, LDP now controls 352 seats, giving Takaichi a strong mandate to push her pro-business policies. She pledged a responsible yet aggressive fiscal strategy and also confirmed she will not reshuffle her cabinet formed just 4 months ago. Takaichi, Japan's first female prime minister, called the snap election to strengthen her position. Analysts say this decisive win contrasts sharply with her predecessors, who struggled with corruption scandals, rising costs and loss of parliamentary control. The challenge ahead for Takaichi will be reviving Japan's economy and addressing the country's cost of living issues while leveraging her newly strengthened parliamentary majority. Now, Thailand's Bhum Jaitai party has secured a stronger than expected win in Sunday's general election, with Prime Minister Anutin Charnvirakul claiming victory. With 93% of ballots counted, Bhum Jaitai is projected to win at least 194 of the 500 parliamentary seats, putting it well ahead of rivals. The Progressive People's Party came in second with an estimated 116 seats. Pheu Thai Party of jailed former Prime Minister Thaksin Shinawatra took third with 76. The snap election, called after less than 100 days in office, aimed to capitalize on a wave of nationalism following Thailand's 3-week conflict with Cambodia. Anutin described the outcome as a victory for all Thais, signalling a strong mandate for his government. Russian overnight drone attacks across Ukraine have killed at least 4 people, including a mother and her 10-year-old son, Ukrainian officials reported on Monday. The fatal strike hit a residential area in the town of Bohodukhiv in eastern Kharkiv. The attack also caused widespread power outages, leaving tens of thousands without electricity. Ukraine's authorities are continuing to assess the damage and have called for increased vigilance as the conflict persists. The incident highlights the ongoing threat to civilians amid the prolonged hostilities in eastern Ukraine. More international news and sports update coming up next. For now, a short break. China has introduced its first humanoid robot for the diagnosis and treatment of autism, offering new possibilities for early screening, rehabilitation, and long-term care. Designed to capture and interpret subtle brain signals through non-invasive, high-precision EEG technology, the robot translates these signals into coordinated movements, enabling natural and varied interactions with children. The platform combines brain-computer interface with humanoid robotics, providing objective data for therapists to design personalized treatment plans. Supported by 11 national key research programs, the robot is already in use at hospitals and autism rehabilitation centers across China. Researchers say the technology could eventually extend to rehabilitation for stroke, spinal cord injuries, and other motor impairments. A rare natural phenomenon is attracting visitors to an abandoned railway tunnel in South Korea. Icicles are forming from the ground upward, appearing to defy gravity. The tunnel is part of the former Gyeongwon Railway, which once connected to Wonsan in North Korea during the Japanese colonial period. It was later used by North Korean Army as an ammunition warehouse during the Korean War. Bombing by U.S. forces caused cracks in the ceiling, allowing water to seep through and freeze, forming the so-called reverse icicles. Authorities report that despite freezing temperatures, tourists continue to visit the site, making it a notable winter attraction in the region. Now, thousands of revelers took to the streets of downtown Rio de Janeiro for the Cordão do Boitata pre-carnival celebration, a week ahead of the city's official festivities. The event drew over 160,000 participants, dancing to samba music and enjoying colorful street performances. City authorities have prepared traffic and safety measures to handle the surge, as hundreds of scheduled block parties and parades are expected during the carnival season. Organizers expect the event could attract up to 6 million attendees across the city. Time now for sports update. Scotland registered their first win at the T20 World Cup with a commanding 73-run victory over Italy at Eden Gardens. Tournament debutants, Italy suffered an early blow when captain Wayne Maatsen left the field injured. Scotland posted 207 for 4, powered by Michael Liask, who smashed 22 off just 5 balls at the end of the innings. Liask then starred with the ball, taking 4 wickets, including the opener Justin Mossa, who fell first ball to a superb diving catch by Munsey. Scotland's win will boost their confidence as they aim to make a mark in this year's T20 World Cup. before wrapping up, here's a look at the top stories once again. Nepal's National Assembly unanimously approves the withdrawal of social media use and management bill following heavy scrutiny. 3 armed police force personnel injured after local traders attack on a joint raid on an illegal warehouse in Birganj. Nepal's Election Commission prints 12.25 million FPTP ballot papers for March 5 polls, readies over 20 million proportional ballots. Nepal records 27 infant deaths per 1,000 live births, with Sudur Paschim worst affected. Fertility rate stands at 1.9. Sanai Takaichi leads the LDP to a historic 2/3 majority in Japan's lower house. The win gives her a strong mandate to push pro-business policies. And Scotland sealed their first T20 World Cup win with a dominant 73-run victory over Italy. That is all for the moment here on NTV World Prime Time News. Our next bulletin will be at 2200 hours Nepal time. Do join us through our social media and also get the latest update from our official website, nepaltelevision.com. I'm Sarah Sapsanamarai. Thanks for staying with us. Have a wonderful evening ahead.
Welcome to the studios of NTV World in Kathmandu, Public Service Broadcasting PSB Nepal's new initiative to make Nepal more visible and audible to the global audience. Welcome on board.
This is NTV World, facts that speak, insights that matter.
Telling the stories of a changing planet. NTV World, Nepal's perspective to the world.
Exploring the heartbeat of Nepali creativity. This is NTV World.
The power of story shaped by technology. NTV World.
Unearthing Nepal's hidden heritage. Discovering the timeless Nepal.
Telling stories that endure across centuries. Where culture breathes, stories bloom.
When the world moves, we make a sense of it. NTV World.
Taste of Nepal. Every recipe, every flavor tells the story.
Journalism in the digital age. Fast, focused, verified.
Stories hold power. Stories reflecting life. Stories of the hinterlands. Reporting for NTV World.
This is NTV World. Welcome to News Hour.
This is NTV World. Welcome to Primetime News.
One story at a time.
Crossing borders, connecting voices, where Nepal meets the world in dialogue. This is NTV World, Nepal's perspective to the world.
Voices that connect Nepal to the world, bringing perspective, region and relevance to every story. NTV World, Nepal's perspective to the world.
Stand by. Mic is on.
3, 2, 1, cue.
We are NTV World.
Only after 6 decades of the institutional development of the now popular game of cricket did Nepal get the opportunity to play in the World Cup. Although cricket was introduced in Nepal during the Rana regime, the sport was confined to a limited number of people, namely the elite. It all started with equipment brought by students returning from their studies in Britain and India. Although Cricket Association of Nepal (CAN) was established in 1947, cricket remained centered among a few affluent individuals and in limited tournaments for a long time. Starting with the Bishnu Trophy in 1948, tournaments were limited to competitions like the Madan Memorial Sealed, Jugal Kishore Trophy, Rammani Trophy, and later the Jai Trophy. Even as the sport expanded outside Kathmandu Valley, it took decades for cricket to develop at the grassroots level. After the International Cricket Council (ICC) granted Nepal affiliate membership in 1988, Nepali cricket embarked on its international journey. The rule of mandatory participation in tournaments by the ICC and the Asian Cricket Council (ACC) opened doors to international competition for Nepal. After participating in the Under-19 Asian tournament in Hong Kong in 1996, Nepal has not looked back. Winning titles at the Asian and global levels, Nepali cricket team continues its journey towards the pinnacle of world cricket.
Goes down the ground because he was given that line outside off stump, so the first boundary of the contest, a handsome one.
Initially confined to Turikhel in Kathmandu, many international tournaments were hosted in Nepal after an international standard ground was built in Kirtipur. Nepal has also shown its proactiveness in differently abled cricket tournaments like the T20 World Cup for the blind in 2012 and the Asian Cricket Tournament for the deaf. Nepali women's national cricket team has also achieved remarkable success in a short period of time. The latest addition in Nepali cricket is the floodlit Tribhuvan University Cricket Stadium and the Nepal Premier League that has provided opportunity for Nepali players to rub shoulders with world-class players.
Pashupatinath is located in the eastern part of Kantipur city, approximately 5 kilometers away from Bagmati River. During the Lichavi period, the area surrounding Pashupatinath was known for animal rearing. This region includes Duasthali, Guveshwari, Gaurighat, Chaba Hill, Ganeshtan, and Kutuwali, all of which are part of the Pashupatinath area. In 1979 AD, UNESCO designated Pashupatinath as a World Heritage Site. The blessings of Pashupatinath have been revered since ancient times, indicating the site's significance long before the Lichavi dynasty. The presence of Jyotirlinga, a sacred representation of Lord Shiva, is mentioned in one of the ancient texts, highlighting its historical and religious importance. In the Gopal Raj dynasty, King Supuspadev described Pashupatinath as Varna Vyavastha. Following Supuspadev, every subsequent king incorporated the name of Pashupatinath within their own names. King Vaskardev offered 3 kosh to Pashupatinath, Brishdev presented a Trishul, Dharmadev contributed a Brishjos, and Narendradev offered various kosh made from different materials. Finally, Jayadev offered a lotus to Pashupatinath. In 1473 BS, Jyoti Malla renovated Pashupatinath. The priest Nityananda initiated the removal of the 3-story structure of Pashupatinath and reduced it to a single story. Queen Ganga, the consort of Shiva Singh, had the Bhasa Bamsawali written, which is still present today. During the Malla dynasty, the offerings made by the kings to Pashupatinath can still be seen today. Among these offerings, Lord Shiva at Pashupatinath received a copper roof, and chadi and kamal. Finally, King Jai Singh presented a gold-made mekhla, and a grand jatra was conducted. The temple's extraordinary design is attributed to the cumulative contributions of successive kings, each leaving their mark by adding distinctive elements to its architecture. This rich history of royal patronage is the primary factor contributing to the exceptional and intricate design of this revered temple.
Welcome to the Hinterlands. This weekly show whips together stories from the hinterlands of Nepal, takes you beyond the cities and highways into the heart of Nepal's rural landscapes. It's a country alive with stories, laughter, ideas and everyday magic. I'm Rosina Rai and we will be leading you into this journey every week. Welcome back. The Hinterlands brings stories from all 77 districts of Nepal to the forefront, amplifying voices that are often unheard and unseen, especially communities long ignored and marginalized. Our first report takes us to the Tarai region, to the Musahar community, where families remain vulnerable to floods, droughts and chronic insecurity year after year, as promises of change remain unfulfilled.
A little away from the busy core of Janakpur Dham sub-metropolitan city, beyond the crowded roads and concrete structures, lies Basaiya, ward number 24 of the sub-metropolis in southern Nepal. But here the city's progress feels distant. In the Musahar settlement, political leaders have been frequent visitors these days. They come right to people's doorsteps, not with solutions, but with promises. Assurances are offered, hands are shaken, and then the vehicles leave. Yet the daily struggle here remains unchanged, finding work, arranging food, and somehow surviving another day. In this Dalit settlement, even the houses built under the People's Housing Program have become symbols of neglect, structures started but never completed, standing as reminders of unfinished commitments.
नहीं दुआर है नहीं घर पर खर जुड़ रही है नहीं कथु जुड़ रही है नहीं लाइन के अवस्था नहीं घर के अवस्था नहीं सड़क के अवस्था कथु के है अवस्था हमरा सके गरीब के कथु के अवस्था न.
Every day, candidates are arriving in vehicles without asking about disease, hunger or grief. They ask for votes and then drive away. Whenever the election comes, only then do the candidates remember these problems. But the locals express their sorrow that the candidates who went away, giving assurances to solve their problems, never returned. For the Musahar community, the demands are basic: a secure livelihood and a roof to live under. Nothing more. Yet even these fundamental needs remain unmet. The candidates, too, seem to have no concrete plans for them. Housing promises in this settlement are not new. They date back to the last election, and even children from the community can recall them. But the reality remains the same. Families continue to live in unsafe huts, vulnerable to harsh weather and constant uncertainty. For the residents, the hardest truth is that their problems rarely enter the priorities of those seeking votes.
The outflow of young Nepalese has reached a critical level and a larger phenomenon inside the country. Migration in search of better employment opportunities and global exposure is rising sharply, with reports showing that some villages are now left without young men or skilled manpower. In these communities, women have no choice but to shoulder every responsibility in the absence of men. Now we take you to one such place, a village without a man.
Nepal continues to witness a steady rise in labor migration as employment opportunities within the country remain limited. According to the Department of Foreign Employment, between mid-December 2025 and mid-January 2026 alone, 55,541 men and 7,018 women received labor permit approvals under unskilled, skilled, professional, and highly skilled categories. This growing out-migration has not only emptied villages of youth, but has also significantly increased the social and economic burden on women. From farming and family management to development work and social leadership, women in the hinterlands of Nepal have no choice but to roll up their own sleeves. A clear example of this changing reality can be seen in Tallo Satigar village of Waling 6 in Syangja district. Daily household chores, agricultural work, community development, and social administration are now largely handled by women. Despite the common belief that women's participation in social, economic, and political sectors is limited, Tallo Satighar has shown that a village can function and move forward through women's leadership alone. With a situation resembling one house, one abroad, the village is now home mainly to women and elderly residents, leaving women to address every challenge that arises.
एकदम गाह्रो हुन्छ किनकि अब भैँसी फुक्दा पनि बानी मान्छे पनि हुनुहुन्न अब त्यस्तै हो व्यवहार पनि चलाउनु पर्यो.
From working in the fields with children on their backs to managing households and extended families, women shoulder all of the responsibilities.
अबको अवस्थामा मलामी पनि महिलाहरु जाने अवस्था भइरहेको छ किनकि बेरोजगारीको कारणले.
As women in villages like Tallo Satighar continue to carry the weight of the households, communities and development, their contribution remains largely unsupported by policy and resources. Unless sustainable employment opportunities are created within the country and women-led communities are backed with targeted programs, the unseen burden carried by women in these emptying villages will only continue to increase.
Now to a different report that raises serious questions about environmental safety from Nepal's Dhading district. This report digs deeper into the excessive use of chemical pesticides on farms, a practice that is destroying natural pollinators and predators essential to the ecosystem, such as honeybees. And beekeeping farmers are deeply worried as pesticide use in nearby fields is killing honeybees. This is especially alarming in a district where nearly 90% of the population depends on agriculture for survival. Dhading is a key agricultural pocket area where country's most significant commercial farming activities are in practice. Nearly 90% of the district's population is engaged in agriculture. Beekeeping, though not at a very large scale, is slowly becoming a lucrative source of income for farmers in the district, with the local agriculture office estimating around 12,000 beehives in the district. Farmers raise bees using both traditional log hikes and modern hive systems. Due to its slow investment and relatively high returns, beekeeping has been widely adopted as a livelihood option in the district. However, beekeeping farmers are now facing a growing crisis. The uncontrolled use of chemical pesticides in commercial vegetable, fruit, and oilseed farming has led to the death and migration of honeybees. Over the past few years, farmers report a steady decline in bee populations. When bees forage for nectar and pollen, they come into contact with pesticide-contaminated flowers and die. In addition, changes in weather patterns and flowering seasons are making it increasingly difficult for bees to survive and produce honey. Farmers in the district once produced up to 2 tons of honey annually, but production has steadily decreased in recent days. Agriculturalists highlight reducing and regulating pesticide use in beekeeping areas is essential to protect pollinators and strengthen the sector. Now we move to the remote hills of Pasthar in eastern Nepal, where daily life has become a constant struggle. The only means connecting villages to the outside world lies in ruins. Suspension bridges, once a vital lifeline for these remote communities, have been swept away, forcing residents back into hardship. In the remote hills of Pasthar in eastern Nepal, life is a daily struggle as the only mean of connecting to villages to the outside world is in ruins. For decades, residents were forced to rely on fragile wooden foot bridges to cross rivers and streams and braving monsoon floods just to have access to their field or visit relatives. Khagendra Chemjong, a 60-year-old resident, has become one of the faces of this enduring struggle. Every day, Chemjong and others cross the river bearing life-threatening risk just to fulfill their daily activity. 3 years ago, the construction of a suspension bridge brought relief to the villagers, making the journey safer and more manageable. However, that relief was short-lived. During last year's monsoon, incessant rains swept away the only bridge over Nibukhola River in the village. Chemjong and his neighbors are once again forced to navigate the dangerous waters on their own. Government programs have long aimed to replace unstable wooden bridges with suspension and permanent structures, easing life in hilly districts. Addressing the issue, more than 350 suspension bridges were built in Pasthar district by the government and various stakeholders over the time. Yet, these efforts are far from being sustainable. During heavy downpours, nature shows no mercy to villagers, and the urgent need for sustainable infrastructures remain unmet in this eastern district of Nepal. The same struggles begin anew each year with the end of the winter and the onset of the rainy season. This is the final report of this episode of The Hinterlands. We take you to Bhaktapur, Nepal's ancient city, widely known as the city of festivals and jatras, to witness the vibrant Pulukisi Jatra, where the white elephant dance is a major attraction. The ancient Newar city, Bhaktapur in Nepal's Kathmandu Valley, recently celebrated the Pulukisi Jatra, a vibrant fair and religious procession with great fanfare and devotion. Held during the sacred Sostani Brata, a month-long Hindu ritual observed across Nepal. This festival is a living testament to the country's religious dedication and cultural richness. In the Newari language, Pulu means elephant and Kisi refers to the animal itself. The festival features a symbolic white elephant dance representing Airavat, the divine mount of Lord Indra. During the celebrations, the streets and temple courtyards of Bhaktapur transform into a mesmerizing sea of color and sound. Traditional music fills the air while groups of youth, children and women enliven the city, turning into a lively carnival of devotion and joy. At the heart of the Jatra is the Pulukisi, a symbolic elephant crafted from straw and brought to life through a captivating traditional dance. Organized with the active participation of Bhaktapur's core Newar community, this performance is not only entertaining for spectators but also deeply symbolic. Cultural scholars note that the festival embodies more than mere festivity. It represents faith, purity, and social unity. Unlike other festivals in Bhaktapur, the Pulukisi Jatra holds a unique and special place in the hearts of locals there. Despite the pressures of modern life, it remains a beacon of Nepalese cultural heritage. Generations of families have celebrated it without interruption, and visitors from across the Kathmandu Valley and neighboring regions flock to witness this spectacular event of the year. Both locals and officials emphasize the importance of preserving and promoting such traditions, ensuring that the vibrant spirit of Nepalese culture continues to flourish. Beyond the cities and the headlines, rural lives continue to unfold. Stories shaped by struggle, strengthened by resilience, and carried forward by hope. This is the Hinterlands, and we will be back next week with more stories from the heart of Nepal. Goodbye for now.
Music, dance, food, art and devotion are the lifeblood of Newar culture, an ancient civilization rooted in the Kathmandu Valley of Nepal. With lively festivals nearly every fortnight, the Newars celebrate life through a rich tapestry of traditions known as Jatra.
Dailek in Karnali province is a geographically remote district, yet rich with untapped potential for tourism. Stepping into Dailek, celebrated as a treasure trove of Khas art, culture and heritage, brings a unique sense of joy. Journey begins amid its natural beauty, leading us toward Mahabu Rural Municipality. As we leave the mid-hill highway, the terrain becomes challenging, with hilly, muddy roads demanding patience and skill. Long lines of vehicles crawl carefully along the cliffs, reflecting both the difficulty of the route and the enduring devotion of Mahabu Dham. Many travelers choose to continue on foot, advancing step by step toward their destination. Passing through Chanda, Dasarathi, Okharbanz, Bhavsaini, Noli and Unipata, pilgrims ascend the slopes toward Lisni before finally reaching Mahabu Patan. Pilgrims from Dailek and nearby districts often arrive late at night, having begun their journey the previous day. The path to Mahabu Dham is thrilling, adventurous and breathtaking, made even more dramatic by the steady rain, drifting fog and steep inclines. Yet the journey itself feels uniquely rewarding. Mahabu Lake or Mahabu Dham, located within Mahabu Rural Municipality, is a remarkable place of natural beauty, religious significance and cultural heritage. Situated at an altitude of 4,200 meters, the area is adorned with emerald lakes, grazing flocks of sheep and goats, and a sky that dances with Himalayan mist. Every year, during Janai Purnima, a grand fair is held here, drawing thousands of devotees from across the region. Mahabu Dham's spiritual importance is deeply rooted in the ancient worship of Lord Shiva, revered here as the origin site. From Mahabul Lake, visitors can enjoy magnificent views of Api and Saipal Himal, and on clear days, even the plains of Bardia. Given its religious importance and natural splendor, Mahabul Dham holds immense potential as a religious tourism destination. Improving the rough, narrow access roads is essential for supporting this growth. Mahabul Dham is more than a pilgrimage site. It is a confluence of culture, history, faith, and nature. To truly appreciate its significance, one must visit Mahabul Lake at least once, immerse oneself in its natural beauty, and experience the serene environment that leaves a lasting impression.
Cricket in Nepal is not just a sport, but a passion, almost like a religion that has united the country at difficult times. One of the oldest team games in Nepal, cricket marks a milestone with a third ICC T20 Men's World Cup participation this year. Welcome to Declassified. I am Devendra Subedi. Today's episode of Declassified is all about Nepali cricket and the person who redefined Nepali cricket in the modern era. Yes, cricket is one of the oldest sports in Nepal. But as a cricketing nation, Nepal emerged as one of the best teams in the associate world after 2010. In this episode of Declassified, we try to declassify Mr. Cricket, Paras Khadka, the man himself and the myth. We try to unravel the journey of the most iconic figure of Nepali cricket, his early days, his flamboyance on and off the field, and now his vision and plans as an administrator of Nepali cricket. Let's welcome the captain, Paras Khadka. Welcome to the show, Paras.
Thank you.
Whenever people call you Paras, the word captain automatically comes with you, and still it feels like Paras the captain. Does that tag suit you always and follow you always?
I resigned from captaincy in 2019, retired in 21, but got to lead my country for a period of 10 years. Basically, when people relate to me, either they call me Dai or they call me Captain. I think it did that transformation of Nepal cricket that happened even beyond me, but during our generation is when we qualified for our first ever World Cup. We got ODI status from Division 5 to ODI status, and the whole journey meant that I think most people still use that tag with me. I've kept saying that for me, I fulfill different responsibilities. When I started growing up, I never had any dreams of wanting to play for Nepal. Cricket is something that has happened to me. I'm almost an accidental cricketer, but from the time that I got picked to play for my nation, from 2002, early November, December, starting from under 15s to 17s to 19s and to the senior team, and didn't realize that I spent almost 2 decades playing cricket for my country. It was a privilege. It was an honor. There's no better feeling than playing in front of a packed full house at TU International Cricket Stadium. And with regards to all of the designations that get attached with me, from former cricketer to secretary now to captain, for me, I'm blessed to be part of Nepal cricket. And if people call me captain, it's up to them. But for me, as long as I'm part of Nepal cricket, I'll be more than happy.
All right, the conversation just warmed up with the title, Captain. Let's start with the early days of cricket, Paras. Why did you take up cricket? You said you were an accidental cricketer. You were equally good in basketball and football, if I'm not wrong, with some of the national players as your teammates like Santosh Saukala in football. So why did you take up cricket? As you said, accidentally. How did that accident happen?
Growing up, I was in school. I think my school had a significant impact on me taking up cricket as a sport, not just cricket, in fact, all sports. I was part of the school's basketball team, football team, table tennis, athletics. I was good in studies, so it meant that for me to study as well as, play was never an issue, especially our part of the world. You always compare studies, education, sports. They don't go hand in hand. And growing up, I think the school laid the foundation for me. My teachers were very, very supportive. The family support has been incredible. And to add up, the most important factor here is that I think cricket chose me rather than me choosing cricket. If I look back at my own career, there was no plan as to taking up cricket as a sport. My only thing was because I played all sports. I was athletic, and I remember back in school, and when I was in grade 10, there's inter-school cricket tournament, which was part of a selection tournament, which I didn't know. So as part of our school cricket team, we instigated our sports.
This was somewhere around 1998, 99?
No. I'm not that old yet. So this is around 2001 and 2.
Okay.
So we told our school sports head to, for us to let us participate, because I was in grade 10 then. It almost meant that I would have finished off school, and it meant going into high school and all of that. We went into a tournament, participated in it, won the tournament. The tournament is part of a selection for the Kathmandu regional team. Next thing you know, I got picked for the Kathmandu regional team. Having won the tournament, got to lead that team as well. Then I think the selectors, the coaches then saw some potential in me, perhaps. So we went on to play the regionals. Back then we were divided into 5 development regions. So it was Kathmandu, Birgans, Biratnagar, all of these development regions that we were participating and representing. And later on got picked for the Nepal under 15 team, and as a vice captain. Played the first ever Asia Cup, under 15 Asia Cup, and it was historic because we
won Pakistan.
I think then we beat Bangladesh. We used to play against India, Pakistan, all of this. I think that format has come back after a very long period now, where the Asia Cup does include the associate nations as well. And from under 15 to under 17, even during the under 19 days, I really thought that I would play under 19s and probably, like every youth in this country, plan to go abroad for higher studies. My plan was either go to Australia or England, because these were cricket playing nations, would go there, study, play some form of cricket, and establish a career like studying. But life, destiny had other things in place. 2008, my visa got rejected to Australia. I'd applied for it, and since then, in 2009, I got to lead my nation.
That's a very interesting thing you said. So we must be thankful to the Australian Embassy here for the legacy after that.
I think it's not the Australian Embassy. It was a mistake on my end, where the consultancy that I had given responsibility to apply for visa, unfortunately at that batch, the visa got rejected. So more than the Australian Embassy, it was about the documentation that weren't fulfilled.
But that moment was very critical in terms of you staying in Nepal and leaving the legacy then after.
I had no other choice because I was already, most of my friends were either in the US or Australia, some of them were in the UK, and everybody thought that if not for my education, what would I do? So because I was playing for Nepal, automatically meant that I got to lead Nepal. I still remember in 2008, then coach Roy Dias had come up and said that we were in Jersey and Guernsey Islands for the Division 5 tournament. We lost to Afghanistan.
That was the tournament when Mehboob Alam took 10
wickets?
Yes,
we lost to Afghanistan in the semis, and that's when the coach came and asked me, like, because I was the vice captain of the senior team, he said, would you like to lead the team? I said no. I said I want to go abroad.
That was in
2008.
Yes. Because you became captain.
That was before applying for the Australian visa. So because I'd already made plans, but like I said, life, destiny had other things in store. Once the visa got rejected, I was still playing for Nepal, and then CAN gave me the responsibility. The selectors chose me as the cricket captain in 2009, and from then onwards, won our first ever championship in 2010.
Sports person or athlete, is it inborn or something that can be developed? Is there something called natural talent?
I think it takes, obviously, to be athletic, you'll have to have good genes, one, and also the environment that a kid grows up around. Once you grow up in an environment where, like, you have households. I remember growing up, like, we used to watch the Olympics, we used to watch Wimbledon, and you had these India-Pakistan matches. I was born in 87, so in 1992 when Pakistan won the World Cup, I must have been 5, but I still vividly remember that there was a cricket match at home where everybody was, cheering when Pakistan won its first ever World Cup.
Probably that was the World Cup which Nepal, most of the Nepalese watched. Imran Khan lifting that glass trophy, the globe-like trophy. Even I remember that moment. That was pretty much widely covered, and we watched it. So that inspired you as well?
Even for, I was 5, so I didn't know what the inspiration was then, but I vividly remember that there was a cricket match being played. Obviously, the digitalization of the country, where TV had just coming to this part of the world. It was accessible. Cable TV was part of our household, and it was, very early. I'm not that old, but when you talk about it, it almost feels like long time ago. So from that memory, then moving forward to, growing up, like I mentioned, school played an important part. And it's just that cricket became important to me. Why? Because I was tall physically. It helped. Even one thing that must have really helped me was I was very competitive. I'm still very competitive at whatever that I do. And it's about having commitment towards what you entitled towards. So for me, even from a very young age, that cricket part of it and trying to do the best of what I can was always there. And as I grew, it meant that cricket became part of my lifestyle. So once the under 15 happened, the 17 happened, 19 happened. There were moments when you thought that you'd leave cricket and pursue some other things, but cricket just kept pulling me. And I look back at my career of almost 2 decades, it almost feels surreal. Why? Because I never thought I would go on to play for Nepal, play like for a span of almost 2 decades. But it's been amazing. I've seen the whole transformation of how Nepal cricket's grown. I've seen how difficult it was for the generation before me, the amount of hardships, the amount of struggle that they had to go through. And I saw that side, and then to see Nepal emerge as a young cricket nation, and to see and talk about Nepal cricket in 2026, where the world is talking about.
I just want to take you back to earlier what you said. You, being the vice captain of the national team, was already applying for Australia. And now the Nepali players who are abroad are coming back to play the NPL. So scenario has changed now, hasn't it?
It's a full circle in its sense, but we still growing as a cricket nation. There are a lot of things that we need to establish. One thing that is very important, we still don't have a strong base. There are a lot of eyeballs, a lot of people to support. CAN is putting in a lot of effort. People like myself, there are other people who've been part of Cricket Association Nepal, administrators, players, coaches, everybody, and of course now we have the government, the corporate sector, everybody coming in together to support this sport. Why? Because cricket has given us a national recognition, it has given us an international affiliation. Cricket is almost like a religion now, and for a Nepali, when we boast about Everest to Buddha to all of these things, now we can talk about our own cricket team as well as the Nepal Premier League.
You talked about how your transition came from the under-15s to the 19 and the senior team. Did you have any formal coaching in your school days, in your early days?
Back in 2000, I think it was 2000, 2001, the former national team head coach Arun Aryal sir had a small academy. It was called the Everest Cricket Academy at Ratopul. And during the winter vacation, I did spend around 30 days. So because I lived in Baneshwar, people won't believe this, but the house where we have right now in Baneshwar, Buddhanagar, used to have paddy fields all around us. So we used to travel from Baneshwar to Sankhamul, to Gaucharan, to all of these activities. And that is when there's a lot of cricket, because we watch cricket on TV, we try to emulate, we try to copy the bowling actions, try to like hit a straight drive like how Sachin used to hit it with his high elbow. And then after a while, when I joined that academy, I was in grade 8, I think, spent a month and a half. Maybe Arun sir saw a bit of me then, which later on when he was part of the selection and all of that, which he confesses now, saying that, you know, I saw you doing it. There was some spark that he saw when I was in grade 8 itself. But that is probably the only formal coaching that I got under him. After that, it all came down to natural ability. Not just me, I think every cricketer in our generation.
But that time was like
and
that.
And now maybe things have changed, but even until now, we still don't have a
now
structure
parents
to
are keeping
produce.
private coaches.
But I mean, it's inevitable. Why? Because things have changed now.
Yes.
There's a career in cricket, at least when you're part of the national team, and this way things have changed over the last 30 years almost now.
Do you remember in those days one particular performance that you still remember in your early days in your school team that you might have played for, or the district club matches? Any particular one performance that you remember that you did really well and your name came like, okay, this is the future star coming up?
I think Balota Cricket Club gave me my first break. It was my first, not my first cricket club, but at national level, probably the first club that gave me opportunity. I remember playing a match against Yeti Airlines. So Yeti Airlines then used to have all
very
the
strong
stalwarts.
Assembled all players and strong.
They had the best players from Nepal. They used to get paid. I mean, even if those small stipends, they used to get paid. So playing for Balwata in Tudik Hill is when I think I bowled at Raju Khadka Dai, who was the Nepal team captain then. And he tried to hit me and I got him out. I'm sure that also made a bit of noise and presence.
Yes,
that there's this tall boy who's, who's just got the captain of the national team out. It was a club cricket match. Maybe those were small moments that I can think of in terms of club cricket, which possibly when you get the national captain out, that's where...
And people did not know the future captain is taking him, making him out.
You look back at time and you never realize how things move forward with. But as we are speaking and recollecting all the memories, that is one memory which I feel could have made an impact for people in the cricket system to realize that there is this young fast bowler who got, because when you play cricket obviously you get somebody out, but getting the captain of the national team out, I'm sure made me feel that there's a young kid that has some potential.
Wonderful conversation with Paras Khadka. We are just warming up. In the next part of the conversation, we talk about his professional career. Any other memories of the age group teams you still remember? Because I remember some of your innings and some of your performances in the under-19s as well.
I think the under-19 is what shaped our cricket. The generation before me and our generation, we never had thought that we'd reached where we have today. The under-19 World Cup was an important moment. Why? Because that is when we got to play against these cricketing giants. I got opportunity to play 3 under-19 World Cups. And during that time in 2004, when we beat South Africa by 1 wicket, it was in Chittagong, or it was in Bangladesh. I forgot the venue. And
it was in Bangladesh.
Yes. Sakti Gauchan was our captain at under 19 level. Then 2006, we beat
again beat South Africa.
Again beat South Africa. In the same year, then we beat New Zealand. In the finals to win the plate championship. And like you had some of these best cricketers who went on to play for New Zealand, players like Martin Guptill, Tim Southey, all of these players were part of the
Nepal team, that under-19 team had some of the best players of the country.
I think that batch was the whole transformation of Nepal cricket was that the under-19 team would basically go on to represent and become the senior team. And then from there, 2008, we beat Zimbabwe. Obviously lost to West Indies in the plate championship final. So
that was in Malaysia.
Yeah, Malaysia. So that age group level, a lot of great memories, because that whole generation that I played under 15, 17 is who grew on to represent the national team. And we spent more time with each other during that period of 10, 12 years. And it was just an incredible experience, and something when you think of still gives you a lot of smiles.
Your transition from age group to the senior team was not long. You were immediately picked 2006 Under-19 World Cup, and then you had to come for the senior team now. You made, for the senior team, you played more than 250 international matches. This is according to Cricinfo data. More than 250 for the senior team only, from List A till the ODIs and T20Is, right? During those days, win or loss, Nepal winning or Nepal losing depended basically on your performance, especially with the bat. Now, was it the mentality? Was it the lack of talent? Or why was it? It's all coming to Paras Khatka is there, means we are winning. If Paras is not there, if Paras is not playing, we will lose. Even the public, I remember, used to leave the ground once Paras wicket is down. Why was that?
I think people give me a lot more credit. The thing is, cricket is a team sport, and as an individual growing up, it was important that we align with team values, their responsibilities given, and when you start performing, that's when the expectations start to grow. So for me as a batter, because I was leading the team and I was scoring runs, my batting became better. I started as a bowling all-rounder, but later on became more of a batting all-rounder. So the whole growth of my own career meant that, especially when you look at cricket and stats, you compare so many other things. You look at somebody who's scoring runs, somebody scored a 50, and the statistics say that if I scored more runs, the team would go on to win more matches. But during the same time, there were bowlers who were doing a lot of hard work. I still remember in 2004, 5, 6, 7, I think until very late 2011 or 12, that if we made anything beyond 170, 150, we would almost defend any score. Scoring anything beyond 200 was almost impossible, because there were very few matches that people scored against us or we scored against. And cricket also then was different to what cricket is now. And when you look back at all of these things, for me as a senior player, which I went on to become, and as a leading run scorer, even from a young age, it almost meant that I felt the responsibility to lead the team. And because I scored the runs, there were other batters around me who fulfilled their responsibilities as well. And of course, the bowling and the fielding with our national team has always been a talking point, from under-19 World Cups to the senior team and even to the current team that we have. So it all comes down to people giving me all of this, good comments or good, the people say that, it was about you, but I think more than about me, it was about the team. And if I managed to score runs, and I hope and wish I was more consistent, which we tried to level best of what we could, but unfortunately, with our cricketing background of what we learned watching cricket on screen and trying to emulate that without any formal coaching, and then into formal coaching. The only formal coaching we got was at the national level itself, which meant that we learned at the highest level, but we learned the hard way, came across a lot of hurdles, but that whole spirit within the team meant that for me it was an honor to score as many runs, take as many wickets and take as many catches, and as long as I was doing that, and even if I got out on a 0, and if I didn't take a wicket and his team was winning, that was the most important part. So more than the crowd, recognizing, because our fans have always been very, very passionate. They've given so much love, so much of respect for all of us. But for me as an individual, the respect from the teammates, the respect from the coaching unit meant a lot, and I was glad that I could go on to lead my country and score.
You are being modest here, Paras. Let me bring the other fact now. Nepali cricket changed from 2010 onwards when we won the Division 5 here in Tribhuvan University, right?
Yeah.
From 2010 to 2026, in between, everything has happened in between this. And you were the person leading that, sometimes off the field as well, when ICC had suspended the Cricket Association of Nepal. So, from 2009, when you took over captaincy, 2010, we got into Division 4, and then continuously in 2014, we qualified for our first T20 World Cup. 2018, we got our ODI status. And again, back to back. Till 2021, you were still playing, right? So, the performance, the records itself speak that Nepali cricket transformed within those 10 years of your captaincy. Now, how important was the World Cricket League structure in establishing Nepal and other countries as such into world cricket?
Very important. Growing up, we were told that unless you become an ODI country or you enter Division 1, your careers are not secure. And for us, because we started from Division 5, it almost meant that every division that we were in, and it didn't happen at once. There were times from 5 to 4, then 4 to 3, then 3 to 4 again, then 3 to 2, then 2 to 3 again. So this whole transformation happened, and obviously when the ODI status happened, because the ICC structure is such that the ODI status means you get more funding. The professionalism can only start. Until then, whatever money the Cricket Association of Nepal was getting is part of how you perform at the international level. The Asian Cricket Council was there, which is funding you with a certain amount of money, which you ran your cricket with. But the important moment was ODI status. Why? Because it's just been, 2018 to 26 is 8 years, and if you cancel a couple of years with COVID, it's just been 6 years that Nepal cricket's entered the professional mode of how things are or how things should be. So it was an ultimate destination. Why? Because it meant that you could now take up cricket and be paid for it. Cricket Association of Nepal started the payment and a contract structure somewhere around 2013, I would say. It started with, I think, 5,000 or 10,000 rupees, and by the time I retired, I think I was making 40,000 rupees as the central contract player in 2021. But now you look at the contract values of what the players are, has increased. But I still say that's still not enough if you want to make sure you attract a lot more eyeballs. But ODI status obviously is an integral part of the growth of where Nepal cricket is heading towards. It's not been easy. Why? Because the way we have got to ODI status and the way we have retained has been...
The way we got it was itself a fairy tale.
Fairy tale, and it's just that Nepal cricket's always gone through a lot of hardships.
But before that, we were so many times unlucky, weren't we? So there was bound to happen at certain
The way
point.
I look at it is, I think there are certain things which are meant to happen. So as a cricketer, when you play the sport, when you go on to a cricket match, obviously you prepare, you plan, and when you play, either you win or lose. But the most important part is the preparation part of. So when you go into a cricket game with full preparation and you identify that you put in your best effort, there are days when your best effort might not yield the result that you're looking for. But when you come out of a game, if you have won, you identify what needs to be done to become better. And when you have lost, you rectify the mistakes and come back stronger. So these are the formulas that when we emulated meant that pathway for Nepal cricket from Division 5 to... It almost meant that every time we lost, we almost felt it was the end of our careers. But again, we woke up the next day saying that why can't we push for it? Because we spent our whole lives into it. And as the transformation kept going, I mean, as we move forward towards where we are today, it was almost destined for us. It was just that we were part of the whole puzzle where everybody was fulfilling their own responsibilities. As I speak of the whole journey over the last, let's say, 8 years of ODI status, and beyond that, there were some miraculous wins. God has been kind, if you believe in God. I think the team's hard work, dedication, the coaches that we have had. The one thing that Nepali cricket has been blessed with is we've been blessed with great coaches. From Roy Luke Dias to Stuart Law until now, we've had this great bunch of coaches, and even without a structure within our cricketing base, with the coaching input and the hard work of the players and the dedication, meant that the results kept coming in. But if we are to grow as a cricket nation from now onwards, we just can't rely on our destiny.
We will definitely listen to your plan on the last part of our program. I'm coming back to your individual career again. Batting average of 35. You are an all-rounder who played in the middle order. Batting average of 35, right? Bowling average of 27, but only 10 innings. Are you happy with how you ended your ODI career? Like, was Paras Khadka just for 10 ODIs?
So, not just me. I think our whole generation worked very hard.
Yes.
If you talk about, let's say, Sakti Gauchen, who was an instrumental figure, somebody who I grew up idolizing. So he played the first ODI and had to retire, right? Basant Regmi, Sarad Vesokar, or Gyanendra Malla, all of these. So our generation meant that we worked towards something where we somehow managed to reach to a destination which was ODI status. Now, when the ODI status came in 2018, from 18 until 21 is when I had to retire in 21, meant that when COVID happened in 20, we lost.
This is an interesting, I had to retire or I retired?
No, it was a decision that I made.
Yes.
Because I had reached a point where our whole generation, obviously, when you go through the archive, there were times when we went against our cricket board, we went against the cricket system. We allegedly made claims that the Cricket Association of Nepal was not functioning the way it should. I've had conversations with people in the board right now saying that when we put up a voice then against the cricket board, all cricket board had to do was make us sit down and show us the board of what the fundings were and how they're functioning. Because it's not easy, even with ODI status and the budget that we have right now, to function the whole cricket ecosystem is not easy. Because what we're doing is we're using the same money to whatever we generate to run our cricket system. But that whole pathway of my career meant that when I retired in 21, it reached to a point where I did not feel like picking up a cricket bat. And for me, with whatever work that I do, I want to give in my 100%.
You also made statements later stating that if Monty was the coach, probably I'd be still playing. So that somehow meant that your retirement was not all by yourself or all by feelings only.
So what my own calculation...
External factors also played there?
My calculation was that we're playing this ODI cycle with 36 ODIs. I had played first 4 ODIs, then COVID happened.
Yes.
And we had 32 ODIs remaining. So then I thought of the fact that now, because I've almost played 19 years, and when I looked at the team as well, all of the seniors were gone. Like it was me, Sharad was still playing, Gyanendra was playing. Binod Bhandari came in later, but he was in and out of the team. I almost felt like, so if I play with the cricket team right now, probably I was mentally at the peak of my career where you knew how to construct runs, how to manage, the team and all of that. But also meant that for the 10 years that I was captaining the team, almost everything that I had to say to the national team or to the young people, to the youngsters like Rohit, Dipendra, Sompal, Karan, all of these guys that grew up, Sandeep, all the guys who came in later, I felt that as a senior player and a guardian, there's nothing left for me to say in the dressing room for me to inspire them. Then I thought to myself that if I retire now, what next? Is that I only retired from playing the sport. I didn't retire from Nepal cricket. I keep saying this fact. And then even on a personal level, it meant that I'd lost the hunger to pick up that cricket bat or play cricket anymore. And once that feeling came in, and then I realized that, okay, if I had to now say that I'm done with the sport, it meant that I would end up my career, but I would also have to plan it in a way where if I had to, let's say, help or contribute towards Nepal cricket in a different way, it would mean that I have to come into Cricket Association Nepal. The constitution of Cricket Association Nepal meant that I would have had to retire 2 years in advance. So if I had to come in 2023, I had to retire in 21, qualify during the 2023 tenure and then run for elections.
So that was more of a political decision from your side at that point of time. Can I say that?
I think it wasn't political. It was a bit of everything combined. Why? Because when you play the sport, you realize that time just flies by. You never realize that you've spent 19 years. I'm 39 now, so I've spent, 25 years actively in Nepali cricket now. So from the time that I realize what is right and wrong, it's been a cricket bat in my hand. And in 21, when I decided to call it quits, it meant that the desire in me had ended. But the desire in me only ended as a cricketer then. The desire in me is to see and help and fulfill like everyone's dream in our generation or everybody in Nepal cricket right now to see Nepal become a full member country or test playing nation. Then I realized that when I calculated the odds of what next, if I was still playing, I'd have scored more runs, taken more wickets, but that wouldn't satisfy me because our generation saw this whole growth of the struggles, the hardships and winning beyond imagination. Nobody thought.
From you drawing 45,000 or 40,000 as a grade A cricketer to the grade A cricketers drawing in 6 figures now, transformation has happened and your journey, your decision has turned right.
So I think it's still early days. It's just 2 years of me coming into cricket administration. There's a lot more to be done.
Again, we'll come back to that later. Again, I'll take you to your professional career, Paras. Do you remember how many T20Is you played? 33.
Like when you mentioned the stats of 200 plus matches, I really haven't. I never looked at stats. Maybe if somebody tells me, like I know I've scored 500s for Nepal, but I wouldn't know how many 50s I've scored. I remember pivotal moments when we qualified for the World Cup, when we got ODI status. I can tell you what happened during a cricket match during that 19 years that I played, but I never really looked into stats. Stats are important.
You never played for stats. That's very clear because the way you played also, we saw it in our reporting days. You played 33 T20Is for Nepal. Given your game, your style of playing, your aggression, do you think you are more suited for T20Is than the longer version or the shorter version more suited as a player?
Our generation grew up, I debuted in a 3-day game with red ball and white clothing and I retired, let's say, with a T20 game. I think my last game was against Thailand, which got drained out. It almost meant that for me, it was about playing the sport. The format actually doesn't matter when you love the game. I think with cricketers, if you really talk to cricketers who played the sport, the format and the younger generation now might probably think of the fact that the T20 format is the most popular format. More kids, more people follow the game because of this format.
In fact, your last competitive format was T10.
That was
just anyway, you were there as well involved. Maybe not as a competitive player out there after retirement, just as an ambassador of Nepali cricket also you were there. Captaincy now, Paras. You were definitely one of the best captains the country has seen, the associate world has seen, and even in world cricket, you are compared as one of the best captains cricket has seen. What makes a great captain? Is there something off the, let's say, box, out of the box you have to think of what makes a great captain in cricket especially?
I mean, all of the adjectives are fine when people talk about the captaincy, but the captain becomes important when the team is there, winning as a team and also standing by each other as a unit. For me, this generation of cricketers that I got to play with and got to represent as a player and even as a captain meant that my voice was the player's voice. So captainship obviously means it's a leadership position, but the value for that position only adds up if people around you are there to respect, incorporate, and more than the position of it, we play a sport to win. So when we play a sport to win, everybody has to align with team values, team ethics, which our generation carried this for a very long period of time. For me as a captain, the first thing that I was asked was, what is it that you like to do in 2009? And I said, I'd like to lead by example. And that is a theory and a principle that I've always carried, that leading by example is an important part of it. When you're the captain, there are things which don't just relate to what happens on a cricket field. There are things beyond the cricket field as well. You have to identify individuals, their shortcomings, their strengths, their weaknesses. We sit down with different individuals at different stages. For me, more than the cricket part, solving life problems were difficult. We're looking at all the stories that all the cricketers that I played with, you know, some had...
That somehow relates to the coaching theory of some of the coaches as well.
I mean, it's
captain and coach, how important is
very important. In cricket, let's say, when you enter a cricket field, the captain takes all the decisions. Off the field, the coach and the captain decides a lot of things. So for me as a captain, from the time that I started under 15 to, I look at all the coaches that have been part of Nepal cricket, one difference why Nepali cricket has done better compared to other sports is because of the coaching that we have had. I mean, Nepal's football team, volleyball team, any other sport that people play in this part of the world, Nepal cricket is different. Why? Because we got that great coaches who've come, and the hard-working players then got a pathway for them to, you know, start performing and becoming better at whatever that they do. The important part to all of this is that with good coaches and the right team environment and the passion for our generation was, we didn't play cricket for money. We didn't play cricket because we wanted to play cricket. We played cricket because once we go to national, we played cricket for Nepal to win. And when that started becoming a habit, it meant that we started working even harder. We started thinking beyond what people could comprehend or dream of. In 2013, before going into the first ever World Cup, there were people who never realized or thought that Nepal could ever play any World Cup in any team sport. But for us, the belief was within ourselves. We believed on the fact that once we start producing results on the field, the rest will take care of itself. And
if I sum up you as a captain or your captaincy in these 3 words, would I be right? Aggressive, experimental, and lead by examples.
I was aggressive, yes. Experimental, I couldn't experiment as much with what I wanted to because there were so many conversations.
I'll just give you an example. You started the first match, T20 World Cup 2014. You bowled the first ball against Hong Kong.
Yeah, but that's more...
unexpected move for the opposition.
Yes, but that was more a tactical move. Why? Because when Irfan, who we played regularly
normally, people associate Sompal would start or Jitendra
Bhutia. It was a tactical move. It was a tactical move.
But that makes that decision?
That came very spontaneously because I had injured my arm leading up to the World Cup for 2.5, 3 months. I hadn't actually bowled medium pace. So I just bowled around 4 or 5 days before the World Cup. And when we batted, we scored 141 or something in the first game. And as we came into the dressing room, I went to Pubudu Dasanayake and told him that I want to bowl the first over. I just felt that, you know, Irfan's there. He hits medium pace very well.
Around the wicket, I would put
and I said, like, you know, if we cramp him up and, you know, put the pressure on him, his wicket becomes an important. Because even I remember in the 2013 World Cup qualifiers when Nepal was playing Hong Kong and whoever won, you know, would have qualified for the World Cup, Irfan's wicket was an important part of it. So I just thought that because of the conditions and just to give the opponent a surprise factor meant that I told the coach that I want to bowl.
That does make it experimental. I mean, tactical,
experimental, and anyway, God's been kind.
So you'd say I would be right, if I sum up your captaincy in those 3 words.
I mean, okay. I'll take all the...
Okay, thank you Faraz for taking that. Any regrets in these years of playing cricket, captaining the country, your professional career-wise, any regrets on and off the field, any decisions?
More than regrets, we couldn't play back-to-back World Cups. We still haven't played a 50-over World Cup yet. It's more than a personal regret. It's a team composition that maybe with better structuring around us, we could have done better. Because if you look at talent, even the generation that played before me, which when I came into the scene for the first time as a 15-year-old, some of these cricketers that played the game were phenomenally talented. And because I compare talent then to now, it almost meant that talent was pretty similar. It's just the structuring of the talent is different compared to what it was 20 years ago. Regrets meaning obviously the losses. Every time we lost, it felt, obviously you don't like to lose. But I've never carried this burden of having regrets over things. Why? Because when we played cricket, because this is what we knew. We put in every effort that we could. And with limited resources, maybe this was the best of what we could have achieved with our limited resources. So that is why the regret would be not qualifying for world events, not playing more World Cups. But Now we get to see the national team living that dream. We've qualified back-to-back World Cups from 24 to 26. And the important factor here is that now that we played our third World Cup, our vision is probably, now people might even start to talk about to win the World Cup. And I know it's a strong statement to have, but because having played the third World Cup means the next goal should definitely be winning a World Cup. It'll take 15, 20 years. I'm not denying the fact that we'll win a World Cup in the next 5, 7, 8, 10 years. But if you have dreams, if you have plans, if you have structures around how you want to function, and with the T20 format where the playing field is pretty much even, which means that Nepal, because it's a cricket mad nation now, and we have young kids, parents bringing kids into academies, wanting their kids, their sons and daughters to play a professional sport, professional cricket, means that for me, more than the regrets is what the future holds. And as of now, very excited. Why? Because all of the things that I wanted or we wanted as cricket players is happening right now.
Paras Khadka and the conversation, the man, the myth of Nepali cricket itself. We are almost reaching at the interesting part of this conversation. Let's sum up your administrative role now after retirement. You announced even before retiring, and as you said earlier, your retirement was meant to be made there so that you could come into administration, right? What are the major challenges you have seen in administrating cricket in a country like Nepal now in these 2 years?
For me, it wasn't meant to be for me to come into administration because I had to work very hard to come into this position. So the challenges are bigger. Why? Because when you stand on outside of the administration, when you're playing, you only focus on like putting in the effort, your diet, your training, your plans, your strategies. But here, it's about managing everything around it, managing expectations. People almost feel that because there's somebody who played cricket for Nepal and captain Nepal means that results happen automatically. It doesn't work like that. The Cricket Association Nepal is a functional body. It has people from different backgrounds, different ideologies and all of this. And putting everybody together is very challenging. But the fact that for me as a former cricketer now into administration, I received a lot of support from everybody in the cricket system. There are times when we don't argue because that's what it is. And when we played the sport, all arguments that happen inside the dressing room never got into the public. But when you're an administrator, any conversation and every dispute actually comes in front of the news. Means that it's a position that demands a lot of...
you had always been a straightforward person, Paras.
Yes, I think
have you learned to be diplomatic, that means?
I think more than... see, this thing called diplomacy and being straightforward is standing up for right things and always looking at the larger picture. The bigger picture is always important. For me, as an administrator, my responsibility is to align everybody who's part of Nepal cricket, the districts and the provinces together. And also I expect people to support me because I've just come into this, it's just been 2 years. I'm not a magician and I'm not somebody who can make things happen just like that, because to establish a structure takes a lot of effort, lot of planning around it. And as of now, the last 2 years have been just revolving around all of these things. There are a lot of things that I've learned as an administrator. And more than pinpointing, because when you talk about administration, there's the cricket politics to it. There are groups of people for or against you or against whatever that everyone's trying to incorporate or institutionalize. But the most important factor is cricket shouldn't be losing in this battle. The position that I have and my commitment towards Nepal cricket has always been the same. And the secretary right now, tomorrow, in 2 years' time, even if I'm not part of Cricket Association of Nepal at the central level, I'll definitely be part of the district or the provincial level. I never played cricket wanting to become a cricket captain. But having played the sport from under 15 to 17-19s, when I kept doing well, it meant that there was a time when CAN recognized that they gave me the opportunity to lead the team, and I got to lead my nation. So for now also, I've got this opportunity, I've got this belief from people in the cricket administration that, okay, there's somebody who's played cricket, who's part of the administration, and now all I need is a bit of more time, a bit of more dynamism within our own cricket system and structure. I feel the last 2 years have been amazing. Why? Because there's more eyeballs in Nepal cricket.
Aligning all stakeholders for one cause.
And it'll not happen overnight. It'll still take a lot of time, but the conclusion of the matter is that when you're part of cricket administration, the motive is for you to help Nepal cricket grow. That is what I had as a cricketer, and I've just transferred that responsibility now into an administrator. Whatever I do is what Cricket Association Nepal does. That's why if people say Paras Khadka played cricket and Paras Khadka is doing whatever he is, it's not Paras Khadka who is doing things right now. It's the Cricket Association of Nepal. Paras Khadka is part of history now. Cricket Association Nepal is who I work for, and I've got this opportunity once again to create another pathway or another platform or another opportunity to create better opportunities for young cricketers. Having gone through that whole journey of what a cricket player goes through, from absolutely nothing to where Nepal cricket is today, feel humbled. And there's this inner obligation within me that I hope I can live up to people's expectations. Administrative job is not easy, but like I said, I'm learning, and I hope we can grow as a cricketing nation.
Now, definitely being a permanent ICC member, or the tester status, that's what we say, that's the next step. You have always been saying that. What reforms, if we need to do to achieve that?
A lot of things, but I think we're heading in the right direction. The Nepal Premier League obviously helps because it's attracting a lot of proper eyeballs within the country as well as outside of it. We need to grow our grassroots cricket system. One of the things that I said day one when I got elected as a secretary is that I want to really change the grassroots cricket system. For us to change the grassroots system, we need money. The resources have to be huge, and that is why establishing the Nepal Premier League was very important. As of now, even with the Nepal Premier League, whatever money that we are generating through it, we are spending as much money just to create a value out of it. So sometimes when you read millions of money on newspaper, on social media, people almost think that Cricket Association of Nepal is so rich they can do anything and everything. But what we are doing is every penny that we are generating from cricket or from the NPL, we're using that to run our cricket teams, to have bigger, better contracts, to have more ground staff, to have more equipments for everybody within our cricket system. So it's going to take time, but the resource part is where I believe there are a lot more people that are ready, a lot of people that want to become part of Nepal cricket. Investments are on the pipeline where people want to become really invested towards this whole journey of where we're heading towards. And also because when a country plays, like for example, when Nepal plays the first match on the 8th of February in Wankhede, I'm sure the whole country will stand still and support. Why? Because I remember in 2014 when we played our first World Cup 2, watching our first match in Dallas last year where we had 10,000. The whole stadium was full of Nepali people. And now with the kind of passion that we've seen in Nepal and outside of Nepal, our fans have been the biggest strength. And for us now to monetize this energy, monetize this passion of our cricket fans, get right stakeholders, get right business people into our system, and the most important thing is for Cricket Association of Nepal to have a proper corporate structure within our ecosystem. We have an office management that is doing a lot of work. We have a cricket board. Eventually, I would want to see Nepal cricket run by professionals. We, on behalf of CAN board, we are working on the policies, working on the development aspects of things, but it has to be run through a professional management, through professional people, and that is where we are heading towards. And I hope if we can institutionalize this, there will be a lot of changes in the future.
When it will happen, let's say we will be a permanent state, get a permanent status, can we exactly say then this will take this many years?
It's going to take time. Let's work on the process of it. It's almost like when you go into a cricket match, I mentioned earlier in the interview, you might be the best prepared team, but there might be a time when a low ranked team could beat you, which means that it doesn't mean that you become better or you become a lesser team. For us right now, we need to work on our grassroots cricket structure. Our districts and provinces have to be financially independent. We have to have a robust cricket system, a year-long cricket system within our districts. We have a calendar now. It's a jam-packed cricket calendar. But besides that, unless we get money into our district and provinces where players are contracted from district levels to provinces, and we have club level cricket and school level cricket and college level cricket happening and academies established all over the country, we will not grow, and the whole process of we becoming a full member will take a bit of time. Our women's team is starting to perform, our men's team have been performing well, our under-19 teams have always performed. Now with the Nepal Premier League happening, the investors coming in, the owners of the Nepal Premier League, the sponsors of the Nepal Premier League, the sponsors of the national cricket teams have made a significant impact to where we're heading towards. So it all comes down to re-establishing a proper structure around where we want to head towards. Hopefully, very soon.
In this part, let's talk about the upcoming T20 World Cup. Paras, we have had some wonderful performances. As you said, you ranked your best performance, those 3 matches that Nepal played in 2014, and the last World Cup 2023 also, Nepal made a mark in the US and the West Indies. What are your expectations from the team this time around?
Just to go out there and enjoy and express ourselves. Last time we came very close to beating South Africa and Bangladesh, and we made our presence. Playing against England, even Italy, West Indies and Scotland is not going to be easy. Why? Because sometimes when you look at our cricket current position is that we've come through a lot of hardships. A lot of results have fallen in favor for us to be where we are today. And because we're a young cricket nation, our fans believe that, we should be winning anything and everything. We have to be patient. For us, let's back our team. Our boys have put in a lot of effort. For this team, just to qualify from Asia is a very difficult task.
So is your message that let's enjoy the matches that Nepal plays there?
That's how
it
should
be.
Team. That's how it should be. I know it's not going to be easy. Why? Because the expectations are there.
Yes.
But imagine if we pull up upsets. What's going to happen then? After that, if we win a cricket match, if we win against England, it'll obviously create a lot of ripples. But that is not going to change the overall cricket system that we have. But it'll obviously add value to where we are heading towards. That is why global events are important to us, because we don't get to play against these countries very often. So when we play against them, we put in our best effort. We don't want to put too much pressure on our team. They have done enough to reach at the global stage. So let us enjoy the first 4 matches of the first round. If we can go into the second round, it'll be...
Chances, how do you see the chances of going into the second round?
You'll have to play good cricket. See, nothing's going to be easy. The whole challenge is managing expectations. The boys have prepared, planned. We have a great coach in Stuart Law, the management. On behalf of CAN, we've put in everything that we can to make sure our players are aligned to perform at the best of what they can. And right now, not just right now, let us just enjoy this whole journey of where Nepal cricket is currently. We need to work a lot on how we are functioning, but World Cups don't happen often. We are almost entering 30 years from 96 to 2026 since we started playing international cricket. This is our 3rd World Cup. It's in India. We know how big cricket is in India, so it's an opportunity for players as well as a country to make a mark. For us as a young cricketing nation that we are here, we are ready to deliver, and the most exciting part is I think there'll be hundreds and thousands of traveling fans.
If the news are to be believed, the tickets are already sold, packed, and Nepal yesterday got the best reception of all the teams joining the team hotel.
The BCCI has been supporting us. The ICC has been very supportive, and like I said, it's the Cricket World Cup. We just hope we grow as a cricket nation, and like I said, the global events will make a significant impact to where we're heading towards. It's an opportunity to showcase what we have, and our best wishes are with our national team.
Thank you so much, Paras. Thank you so much for sparing your time and your insight into you, your career, your professional cricket, your journey into administration. This episode of Declassified, we explored Paras Khadka, Nepali cricket, a journey into administration, and also we'd like to extend our best wishes to Nepali cricket team that is participating in its 3rd T20 World Cup. We all wish all the best to the team, and let's enjoy the performance irrespective of the results. Sometimes we become so much result oriented that we seek results. But as Paras said, cricket is not about overnight development. Cricket is not about overnight success. It takes a lot of time. It's a gradual process. Thank you so much for being part of this show. Until next time, from the entire team of Declassified, it's me, Devendra Subedi, saying bye-bye. Welcome to the studios of NTV World in Kathmandu. Public Service Broadcasting PSB Nepal's new initiative to make Nepal more visible and audible to the global audience. Welcome on board.
This is NTV World. Facts that speak, insights that matter.
Telling the stories of a changing planet. NTV World, Nepal's perspective to the world.
Exploring the heartbeat of Nepali creativity. This is NTV World.
The power of story shaped by technology. NTV World.
Unearthing Nepal's hidden heritage. Discovering the timeless Nepal.
Telling stories that endure across centuries. Where culture breathes, stories bloom.
When the world moves, we make a sense of it. NTV World.
Taste of Nepal. Every recipe, every flavor tells the story.
Journalism in the digital age. Fast, focused, verified.
Stories hold power. Stories reflecting life. Stories of the hinterlands. Reporting for NTV World.
This is NTV World. Welcome to News Hour.
This is NTV World. Welcome to Primetime News.
One story at a time.
Crossing borders, connecting voices. Where Nepal meets the world in dialogue. This is NTV World, Nepal's perspective to the world.
Voices that connect Nepal to the world, bringing perspective, region and relevance to every story. NTV World, Nepal's perspective to the world.
Stand by. Mic is on.
3, 2, 1, cue.
We are NTV World.
Japan has held snap elections with Prime Minister Sanae Takaichi hoping to turn a honeymoon start into a resounding ballot box victory. One main focus is whether the ruling coalition led by Prime Minister Takaichi can secure a majority in the lower house or whether the opposition will gain ground and prevent that from happening. There are 465 seats up for the grabs. The benchmark for the lower house's majority is 233. Markets and regional partners are also monitoring the vote for clues on the direction of economic reforms and security policy. Official results are expected later, with any coalition likely to shape Japan's political stability in the months ahead. Meanwhile, Japan has seen snow dumped on many regions, especially along the Sea of Japan's coast. An alert has been issued for several prefectures. Snow rarely accumulates in central Tokyo, but it is now under a blanket of white. In areas where heavy snow is expected, municipal governments may delay the opening of polling stations or close them earlier to ensure the safety of voters and officials. The Internal Affairs Ministry has urged people to maintain caution. Thailand today voted in an early election called after multiple coalition governments collapsed, giving the country 3 prime ministers in as many years. Just like in 2023, this election pits those advocating far-reaching change, the People's Party, against conservative forces led by incumbent Prime Minister Anutin Charnvirakul. When the young reformers won last time, the military-appointed Senate barred them from forming a government and the Constitutional Court dissolved the party. Prime Minister Anutin has played on patriotic sentiment after the 2
brief border fighting with Cambodia last year and promising to defend the status of traditional Thai institutions like the monarchy and military. The other contender is the Shinawatra family and its Pheu Thai party. Thailand's once dynamic economy has ground to a halt as political instability and the lack of structural changes worry foreign investors. Voters, meanwhile, are concerned about rising costs. Iran's Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi has reaffirmed Tehran's unwavering commitment to uranium enrichment, rejecting U.S. threats of military action and insisting that Iran will not be intimidated in ongoing nuclear negotiations. Speaking at a press conference during an international forum in Tehran, Araghchi said Iran will never give up its right to enrich uranium, describing it as a sovereign and non-negotiable aspect of the country's nuclear program. He accused the United States of lacking seriousness in efforts to resolve the current diplomatic impasse through negotiations, asserting that Tehran remains committed to dialogue but on terms that respect its national interests. The remarks come amid heightened tensions between Tehran and Washington following a series of sanctions targeting Iran's energy sector and financial networks. U.S. officials have repeatedly warned that military options remain on the table should Iran accelerate uranium enrichment beyond the limits previously agreed on a joint comprehensive plan of action, which Tehran partially suspended in 2019. Araghchi also highlighted what it described as inconsistencies in U.S. efforts, noting that while Washington publicly calls for negotiations, its unilateral sanctions and maximum pressure campaigns undermine the trust. The stand-up underscores the fragile state of U.S.-Iran relations with potential implications for regional security, global energy markets, and the future of non-proliferation efforts in the Middle East. Floodwaters surged through the Cordoba Straits of Spain, inundating low-lying riverside areas and forcing authorities to close the city's historic Roman bridge as heavy rain continued across parts of Andalusia. Emergency services raised alerts after the river rose rapidly following the days of persistent rainfall and submerging access roads along the riverbanks. Police cordoned off affected zones and urged residents to avoid flood-prone areas, while municipal crews monitored water levels and reinforced barriers at critical points. The flooding comes as southern Spain faces a new spell of severe weather, with regional meteorological agencies warning of continued heavy rain and strong winds across Andalusia. The conditions are a part of a wider storm system affecting the Iberian Peninsula, which has already brought disruption to neighboring Portugal, where Storm Marta battered coastal areas and caused flooding, power outages, and transport delays. No casualties were immediately reported in Cordoba, but officials say evacuations could not be ruled out if rainfall intensifies. Chinese scientists have discovered the core pathological brain network for Parkinson's disease, and direct medical intervention targeting this network in clinical studies has achieved positive outcomes. The findings made by a research team led by Professor Liu Hesing were published in the journal Nature on Thursday. According to China Parkinson's Disease Report 2025, more than 5 million people are living with Parkinson's disease in China, accounting for about 2/5 of the global patient population. Parkinson's disease has been a major global challenge for years. Clinical trial results show that after 2 weeks of treatment using the stimulator, the scanned target group achieved a treatment efficacy rate of 55.5% compared to only 22.2% in the control group that targeted nearby brain areas. It's a moving day at the National History Museum in Paris as renovations begin in the Comparative Anatomy Gallery. More than 600 skeletons, skulls, and fossils are being carefully relocated, including massive samples like elephant skulls that have not been moved for over a century. The relocation process also provides curators and researchers an opportunity to inspect and document each sample, ensuring that conservation standards are maintained and that any necessary restoration can be carried out before the gallery opens. Museum officials noted that the renovation aims to modernize the exhibits, incorporate interactive elements, and enhance educational programming, allowing visitors to explore paleontology and comparative anatomy in a more engaging and scientifically up-to-date environment. Specialized teams of movers, conservationists, and scientists are coordinating to ensure that even the heaviest and most fragile fossils are transported without any damage, a process expected to take several weeks. Participants gave their best impressions of Puerto Rican superstar Bad Bunny at a lookalike contest in San Francisco ahead of this weekend's Super Bowl halftime show. The event drew more than 30 contestants from across the Bay Area competing for a $100 cash prize and bragging rights as the city's top Bad Bunny impersonator. Participants donned signature elements of the 31-year-old's style, from straw hats and aviator caps to aviator sunglasses and colorful shorts, replicating looks associated with Bad Bunny's music and persona. What was billed as a small costume contest quickly morphed into a spontaneous street party with crowds dancing to a DJ spinning Bad Bunny's catalog and chanting the artist's name. The event reflects rising enthusiasm in the Bay Area for Bad Bunny's performance, which will mark one of the first times a predominantly Spanish-language artist headlines the NFL's marquee halftime show. The street party and lookalike contest are among several fan-oriented events leading up to the Super Bowl Sunday. After nearly 2 decades, Pakistan's iconic Basanta Kite Flying Festival has returned to Lahore under strict government regulation, drawing thousands of residents and visitors to the city's rooftops as colorful kites filled the sky. The 3-day event marks the first major celebration of the traditional Spring Festival since its ban in 2008, when hazardous kite strings and related accidents prompted authorities to ban kite flying across Punjab. The revival follows the passage of the Punjab Regulation of Kite Flying Ordinance 2025, which allows Basanta to be celebrated on a limited scale within Lahore under strict safety protocols. Officials have banned sharp strings and chemical-coated lines and mandated individual QR codes and kites and strings for traceability, while rooftops hosting large gatherings are required to register with local officials. Officials and participants expressed hope that this year's regulated Basanta Kite Flying Festival could become a sustainable tradition once again, provided compliance with safety rules to help prevent the accidents that led to the long-standing ban. Turkey has established a 95-member volunteer search and rescue team which completed an intensive 5-day training camp to prepare for extreme winter conditions. The team, which previously carried out assistance in rescue operations during major earthquakes, underwent specialized instruction in avalanche search and rescue, ice wall climbing, and casualty transport on skis with guidance from emergency units. Volunteers also received training in winter survival techniques, including igloo construction, navigation on snowy and icy terrain, and cold weather first aid, simulating conditions likely to be encountered in mountain and remote areas. The exercise tested the team's ability to operate under deep snow, sub-zero temperatures, and high-altitude conditions, aiming to enhance rapid response capabilities in natural disasters and harsh environments. Officials say the initiative underscores the commitment to community resilience and disaster preparedness, strengthening local and national search and rescue capacity ahead of winter emergencies. The 6th International Saharan Cultures Festival opened on Sunday, showcasing traditional dances, music and attire from dozens of ethno-linguistic groups across Chad and the Sahara region. Delegations from Burkina Faso, Mali, Morocco and Nigeria are participating, highlighting cross-border cultural exchange. Festival organizers say the event aims to provide and preserve Saharan heritage, strengthen regional ties, and provide a platform for young artists to present traditional and contemporary performances. The week-long festival features music concerts, craft exhibitions, and food shows, drawing both local residents and international visitors to celebrate the diversity of Saharan cultures. Officials stress the festival also serves as a tool for a cultural diplomacy, fostering dialogue among the nations while promoting tourism in eastern Chad. Security and health measures are reinforced to ensure the safety of attendees amid large crowds in the desert city. Officials say they hope the festival will also boost regional economic activity, benefiting local artisans, performers, and vendors through increased exposure and trade. The streets of Rio de Janeiro came alive over the weekend as the samba group Butano na Bureta staged a vibrant parade honoring Brazilian cinema, blending music, dance and theatrical performances in celebration of the country's film industry. The troupe, known for its colorful costumes and high-energy choreography, led a procession of revelers, musicians and local artists through the city's central neighborhoods, incorporating iconic imagery and references to notable Brazilian movies. Organizers say the event aimed to highlight the growing international recognition of Brazilian cinema and inspired national pride in the country's creative achievements. Amid a historic moment for a Brazilian movie for the second consecutive year, a Brazilian production has been nominated for the Oscar for Best Picture, with The Secret Agent representing the country on the global forum. Parade participants incorporated scenes and characters from the movie into their routines, creating a living homage to the contemporary Brazilian storytelling. The parade concluded with a street performance featuring movie clips projected onto large screens, accompanied by live samba, leaving audiences with a vivid reminder of Brazil's cinematic creativity and its growing footprint in international award circuits.
सदा भवानी दाहिन रे सदा भवानी दाहिन रे सिद्ध
The Tharu folk literature and folk cultural heritages reflect the prehistoric human civilization to the modern-day Tharu civilization. the Tharus were reduced to minority in their native land. Nonetheless, they were successful in retaining and conserving their cultural heritage that originated in the soils of Western Plains. The lifelong folk dance, traditions and festivities are the examples of their cultural preservation. The Tharus have successfully kept alive traditional practices, spirit, mutual unity and harmony, which are an eminent part of their lives today as well.
Tharus are the indigenous tribes of this place. We have our own typical cultural norms and values, including our own music and culture. Starting from the monsoon season, Tharus rejoice in their own cultural festivals that have their own traditional music. Agriculture is our main occupation, and we are known as hard-working people. Nepal is very rich in cultural diversity, but Tharu culture has its own uniqueness. I believe preserving Tharu culture could be a boon in developing tourism as well in this region. However, it is very important to preserve and promote Tharu culture, especially among the youths. Proper planning and programs to preserve and promote Tharu culture from the government
an organization in a Tharu village than an individual. The village leadership is taken as a higher traditional practice in the Tharu autonomous ruling system.
We normally play the role of a facilitator in mediating whenever there are disputes among people of our community. The Matau or the local chief has to take the lead whenever there are accidents like death in our community. Sometimes there are disputes between people of different villages. The Matau needs to take the lead in settling them as well, almost like a judge. On cases of land proportion division to Kamayas or the bonded leverers, people can give their opinion, but the final decision is taken by the Matau. In marriages also, the witness has to be the Matau. Later, if the couple has any problems, the Matau needs to be the one to settle their dispute.
The village senior or Agua, on the instruction of Mahatwa, asks all the villagers to be present at Mahatwa's residence on the eve of Maghi. Khyala is the village council of Tharus, where every decision is taken in consensus of all sides. Tharus share a close bonding with nature, and their folk life exemplifies this connection. During the Maghi, they reach the jungles to pick the leaves and collect timber before dawn. Some go for fishing, as fish is the speciality of Tharu dishes. While the Tharu women get busy in cooking delicious dishes like tikri and making alcohol at home. This kind of cultural activities is not only a necessity, but also a higher degree of practice of unity and teamwork within a village. Songs can be heard playing in the background. Water-filled pots or kalash are placed by villagers on either sides of the road as a gesture of extending greetings, while these footsteps return towards villages from rivers to the tunes of the music. Sprinkling the holy water of kalash, a group of elderly reach the home of Mahatwa to extend greetings and for Maghi assembly. They take a seat after greeting him. Gardhuriya, or the households, elect the new leader on this very day. The assembly concludes after reviewing the overall activities of the previous year and chalking out the new plans for the new year. This is followed by feast and dance. Women perform the traditional Tharu dance of Maghauta. Around February and March. This festival is celebrated by the Tharus ritualistically. Among the various rituals, the ritual of sparking fire after rubbing timber of Ganyari species reflects their primitiveness. The holy fire is using for lighting ablaze the pole. The fire used for lighting the pole is taken to home by every Gardhuriya and kept safely. The same fire is used for cooking the food throughout the year. Fag, that is sung marking this occasion, has lusty lines. In the ancient times, it was called Madan Utsov, or festivity of lust or passion. Hence, the month of Fagun in the Nepali lunar calendar is a wedding month for the Tharus. Following the agreement by the family of the girl and the boy for their marriage, Tekoni, a ritual of give and take. On the wedding day, Diuli Darna, a special ritual is marked at the bridegroom's home. The Mahatwa robes a scarf on his head, which is called Pagya. The groom takes out Barchi from his native worship place, Duhar. Taking the Barchi is a symbol of war culture for the bride. While heading to the bride's home, the groom is offered sweet delicacies by his neighbors. The groom then sits on a dola, a wooden carrier, and reaches the bride's home. The bride's mother welcomes the groom with kalash on her hands and circumambulates the groom thrice. The sister-in-laws wash the feet of the groom. The wedding guests from the groom's side enjoy the feast. Tears well in the eyes of bride as she is bidden farewell by her family members. The bride is then carried on the dola to the groom's house. Bhojinya sprinkles rice grains on the yard. A pot full of fire is placed in front of the bride and groom. First the groom, then the bride steps on the fire and reach the duhar. Folk belief has it that stepping on the fire by the newlyweds means accepting each other, keeping the god of fire as a witness. The sisters of the groom then take certain amount as a gift and clear the way for the newlyweds. Bhojinya then receives them and collides groom's head with the bride's. Then she asks the bride to oil massage the groom's feet. After the feast, the celebration continues amid singing and dancing, performing traditional chokra and jhumra dance.
The culturally rich Tharu community of Western Nepal is backward in social and economic fronts. The government must come up with concrete programs to promote Tharu culture right from the local level to the international level. This can be a medium for the social and economic upliftment of the Tharu people. We have launched a campaign to preserve the cultural heritages of Tharu community in Dang, Banke, Bardia, Kailali, Kanchanpur and Surkhet districts.
The Nepali month of Chaitra and Baisakh, or the spring season, is the season of going to the jungles for collecting timber and fodder. The men and women together go to the jungles. They sing Sajana Maina Tharu folk songs while picking leaves or collecting timber. The word Sajana comes from the Hindi language and indicates the folk song has high amount of love and passion, while Maina is the folk song in which the lovers or a girl expresses her inner feelings, symbolizing the bird Maina as a medium. fire dance, and he performs this dance through the help of Keshoka Gurua to awaken the gods and goddesses who are asleep from Durya Guryai. There is a folk belief that the classical tunes of traditional musical instrument madal used during the fire dance eventually chases the evil spirit away. Krishna Ashtami is another significant festival of the Tharus. On this very day, Lord Krishna is worshipped by putting on a huge tika. Thus, the birthday of Lord Krishna is called Astimki. Folk anecdote has it that the Tharu folk artists have this way depicted the story from Stone Age to the Dwapar Age through the paintings. Each painting has its own story. Folk belief has it that the first man of Tharu ethnicity, Gubarba, sitting on the boat, saved himself and his epics by riding on a boat during the end of each age, known as Yug. The images depicted in the painting that are of the evolution stages of fishes, crabs, earthworms, stories of the 5 Pandavas and Draupadi, among others, showcase the Tharu folk cultural history. Dasai or the Dashya is the other important festival of the Tharus. The Tharus have a tradition of holding special worships for the deceased ancestors during this festival. The wife of the Mahatwa prepares a special kind of delicacy, dhikri, for offering it as a prasad or offering to the deceased ancestors. The Mahatwa at the worship place of his residence, Dewhar, offer these special delicacies to the deceased ancestors and the clan of gods and goddesses. After offering all these delicacies, the Dewhar room has to be left in silence. The sacrifice of a wax gourd is taken as an alternative to the existing practice of sacrificing since ancient age. Men, women and youths assemble at the residence of Mahatwa in Dasai to receive tika, blessings and exchange greetings. Tharus have a tradition of putting on a white tika, and it is taken as a practice that began when colors were not created and as a symbol of peace. There is a culture of performing Sakhya and Paya dance from Krishna Ashtami to Dasai in the Tharu culture. In the Sakhya dance, the male members playing the madal play the role of Krishna, while the female dancers role play Radha. Therefore, this dance is performed in 2 forms, Giti along with a song and a Giti without a song. This dance is performed in 22 musical beats. However, these beats are now in the verge of extinction.
Demonstrative art is an integral part of folk Tharu culture. Sakhiya and Paiya folk dances performed during Dasai festival are some examples. It is believed that these folk dances have up to 22 different beats. However, today we hardly find musicians and dancers who can play or perform all these 22 different beats. Only limited beats are performed these days. This demands further research and preservation efforts. Likewise, the Tharu folk literature is equally rich in romanticism. They are found in abundance in Tharu folklores and songs.
The main occupation of Tharu is agriculture. They enjoy in the fields and prefer to toil there. They seek the base of their livelihood through agriculture. They are pursuing their life ahead by being close to the nature. Tharus believe in traditional values, hence believe the Barka dance should be performed if natural disasters occur. The Mahatawa for the same calls village assembly or Khyala. The Barka dance is organized as per the decision of the Khyala. The Barka, that is a folk musical Tharu drama with Tharu folk philosophies, starts with pious steps of various gods and goddesses and concludes with a sequence of Kurukshetra war from the Mahabharata epic and the ascent to heaven. At the end of the dance, the dancers in guise of 5 Pandavas and Draupadi hide their weapons under the Shami tree, which is believed is a depiction of Pandavas going to the Virat kingdom during their incognito stay or the Agyatbas. As per the Tharu folk belief, keeping the akshata used in this dance with oneself will protect one from evil eyes and spirits and helps in curing various illnesses. There is a local belief that touching the bamboo pole that is a symbol of Shiva Lingam or the phallic symbol of Hindu god Shiva relieves oneself from various physical pains. The Tharu culture that is based on self-identity is at present on the verge of extinction. A generation gap is developing between the older and the younger Tharu generation. Changes are but natural. However, extinction of intangible cultural
Nepal's cabinet once again extends tenure of Gen Z movement probe commission, approves order to facilitate national economic census. Nepal Election Commission prints over 12 million ballots. Nationwide voter education campaign underway to reduce invalid votes. National Assembly withdraws social media regulation bill, passes new tourism bill. Japan's Prime Minister Takaichi secures historic LDP victory. Party wins two-thirds majority in lower house for first time since 1947. State's apathy towards disability sports remains appalling despite Olympic glory. Promoters call for changing the mindset. And Scotland records first win at ICC T20 World Cup. Zimbabwe crushes Oman, keeping World Cup hopes alive. Good evening, I'm Sarah Sapsanamarai and this is NTV World News Hour coming to you live from Kathmandu at 2200 hours Nepal time. Now the news in detail. The government has decided to extend the tenure of inquiry commission established to investigate the human and physical losses incurred during the Gen Z uprising on September 8 and 9. Government spokesperson and Minister for Home Affairs Om Prakash Aryal said the government also approved Order 2082, which will facilitate data collection for National Economic Census 2082. Let's look into more decisions of today's meeting.
राष्ट्रिय आर्थिक गणना 2082 को तथ्याङ्क सङ्कलन गर्ने आदेश 2082 स्वीकृत गर्ने, नेपाल सरकारको आर्थिक वर्ष 2081-82 को वार्षिक प्रतिवेदन सम्माननीय राष्ट्रपतिज्यू समक्ष पेश गर्ने, नेपाल सरकार मन्त्री परिषदको 2082 असोज 5 गतेको निर्णय अनुसार भदौ 23 र 24 गतेको प्रदर्शनको क्रममा भएको भौतिक एवं मानवीय क्षतिको यथार्थ छानबिन गरी प्रतिवेदन पेश गर्न गठित जाँचबुझ आयोगको समय अवधि 25 दिन थप गर्ने।
Nepal's Election Commission has printed over 12 million ballot papers for the first past the post category of the upcoming House of Representatives elections scheduled for March 5. These cover 100 constituencies across 44 districts with over 10,700 boxes already packed. In total, more than 20 million ballots will be printed for the direct election. while over 20 million proportional representation ballots are ready for dispatch. Printing began at Janak Education Materials Centre on January 6th. The Commission has also launched a nationwide voter education campaign using digital platforms and volunteers in all 6,743 wards to raise awareness and reduce invalid votes. State media and community facilitators are helping ensure voters are informed ahead of the elections. More on the progress in ballot printing and voters' education in our cover story later today. Moving on, Nepal's National Assembly has unanimously approved the withdrawal of a bill related to the use and management of social networking platforms. National Assembly Chair Naren Prasad Dahal tabled the motion for a decision and later announced that the bill had been withdrawn with unanimous consent. Earlier, Chairperson of the Legislation Management Committee, Tulasa Kumari Dahal, had presented the committee's report on the proposed legislation during the Assembly meeting. The bill had faced scrutiny with 155 amendment proposals submitted by 35 members of the upper house during committee deliberations. The Ministry of Communications and Information Technology had decided to withdraw the bill on 3rd of February and formally requested the Parliament to do so. Japan's Prime Minister Sanae Takaichi's Liberal Democratic Party has scored a historic victory in Sunday's election. The LDP won 316 out of 465 seats, marking the first time a single party has secured a two-thirds majority in Japan's lower house since 1947. Together with its coalition partner, the Japan Innovation Party, LDP now controls 352 seats, giving Takaichi a strong mandate to push her pro-business policies. Takaichi, Japan's first female prime minister, called the snap election to strengthen her position. The challenge ahead of Takaichi will be reviving Japan's economy and addressing the country's cost of living issues while leveraging her newly strengthened parliamentary majority. Moving on, Koshi Zone lifted the title of Vikas Shield National Deaf Football Championship, beating Bagmati B 3-1 in the final. In the final match at Dasrat Stadium in Tripurishon, Neeraj Shrestha scored a brace for the winning team, while Rohan Khadka added the third goal. Bagmati, on the other hand, returned one with a goal from skipper Sanjit Shrestha. Along with the title, Koshi pocketed 50,000 rupees as well, while Bagmati got 40,000 rupees as the runner-up. Earlier, Sudur Pashchim Province finished third with 3-2 penalty win over Bagmati A. The game went on to tiebreaker after 1-1 finish in the regular 60 minutes. 8 teams, one each from 6 provinces and 2 from Bagmati, took part in the 2-day tournament organized by Sundar Dhoka Sathi Sewa. Lalitpur Metropolis Mayor Chiribabu Maharjan, along with other dignitaries, awarded the winning team and the players. We'll look into more detail regarding disability sports in our issues of the day later in the bulletin. Meanwhile, Scotland recorded its first win at the T20 World Cup, defeating Italy by 73 runs at Eden Gardens. Tournament debutants, Italy lost their captain, Wayne Madsen, to injury early in the match. Scotland posted 207 for 4, powered by a blistering 22 off 5 balls from Michael Liask, who then starred with the ball, taking 4 wickets, including opener Justin Mosey, caught superbly by Munsey. In another Group B class, Zimbabwe crushed Oman by 8 wickets in Colombo. Chasing 104, Zimbabwe opener Brian Bennett scored an unbeaten 48, while Brendan Taylor added 31 before retiring hurt. Sikandar Raza sealed the win with the winning boundary. Blessing Muzarabani was named player of the match, taking 3 crucial wickets in just 4 overs. These wins boost Scotland and Zimbabwe's hopes as they aim to make an impact in the 2026 T20 World Cup. Now, with the March 5 elections nearing, Nepal's Election Commission has expedited printing of ballots and packing thousands of boxes nationwide. Alongside the logistics, an expanded voter education drive is also underway to ensure every vote counts and fewer ballots go to waste. A special look on EC's election preparation in our cover story after this break. You're watching NTV World and this is News Hour. Welcome back. Time now for cover story of the day. Nepal's Election Commission has printed over 12 million ballot papers so far for first past the post category of the upcoming House of Representatives elections scheduled on March 5. These cover 100 constituencies across 44 districts with more than 10,700 boxes already packed. Printing began on January 30 at the Janak Education Materials Center in Sanotimi, following an initial phase where over 1 million sample ballots were distributed to districts. In total, more than 20 million ballots will be printed for the direct election. Meanwhile, over 20 million proportional representation ballots have already been printed, verified, and are ready for dispatch. Nepal's Election Commission has accelerated its voter education campaign ahead of lower house elections scheduled for March 5. The Commission is using digital platforms and other outreach measures to inform voters and reduce the number of invalid ballots. The voter education program, approved on 2nd of February, will involve volunteers deployed at the ward level through local offices of the returning officers. Volunteers will be assigned across all 6,743 wards of the country, supported by child development facilitators, women's health workers and community service operators to ensure widespread voter awareness. That was our cover story of the day. Moving on, Nepal celebrated history when Palesha Govardhan's bronze in Paris 2024 made the nation proud. No labels, just applause. But beyond the cheers, deaf footballers still battle silence from the state, even as they step onto Dasrat Stadium. Our issue of the day after this short break. Welcome back to News Hour here on NTV World. Time now for our issue of the day. After 60 years of participation, Nepal won its first Olympic medal when Palesha Govardhan struck bronze in 2024 Paris Olympics. Nobody then said it was disability sports, as the country bowed down to Palesha's achievement as Nepal's flag was raised at the victory ceremony. But the state's apathy towards disability sport is far from encouraging, as even managing a venue becomes a major headache for the organizers. Devendra Subedi looks at the excitement of the deaf footballer along with the deaf ears of the state.
Nepal got its first ever Olympic medal from Paralympics in 6 decades of participation in the pinnacle of global sporting competition. The country bowed down to Palesha Govardhan when she won bronze medal for Nepal in the 2024 Paris Olympics. However, state's policy towards disability sports has been far from being sensitive. Forget about sensitivity. In fact, it is discouraging, according to advocates of disability sports, who either by interest or by passion have been championing the genre. The dedicated entities of the state looking after disability sports are either tired of battling with the state in the fight to secure equal grounds or quarreling among themselves in national versus international recognition. In this backdrop, non-governmental organizations like Sundar Dhoka Sathi Seva have stepped in as the promoters of disability sports despite numerous challenges.
It's like huge challenges to let nation know, let people know that they can play, they can do something. So challenges start from making nation believe that they are player and they have a strength. Including that, we doesn't have any infrastructure. Paralympic, Deaflympic, Special Olympics, nothing is in priority in Nepal.
Organizations like Nepal Association for Football of the Deaf are mere spectators in the absence of funding and are happy to arrange teams for private organizers.
अब चाहिँ हामीले बहिरा व्यक्तिहरूलाई चाहिँ राष्ट्रिय स्तरमा गेम खेलाइसकेका छौं अब अन्तर्राष्ट्रिय स्तरमा पनि उहाँहरूलाई गेम खेलाउनु पर्छ अहिलेसम्म उहाँहरूले केही मौकाहरू पाउनु भएको छैन यो खासमा सरकारले हेर्नुपर्ने कुरा हो सरकारले हेरिदिएको छैन तर बहिरा व्यक्तिहरूले चाहिँ पहल गरिरहेका छन्.
More than the challenges on the ground, including lack of disability-friendly infrastructures, it is the mindset that never changes. Vikas National Deaf Football Championship was the first ever opportunity that these deaf footballers got to step into Dasrath Stadium, the national stadium. The moment in itself was enormous for these deaf footballers who were as competitive as normal players in the 2 days of competition. But it is high time for the state and the policy makers not to limit their advocacy of inclusive society for every stakeholder. How long will these private organizers shoulder the burden that the state should have been?
And today we asked the deaf footballers, how does it feel like to play in Dasrath Stadium? Let's take a look at our Public Pulse segment.
रङ्गशालामा खेल्न मौका पाउँदाखेरि चाहिँ हामी एकदमै खुसी छौं किनभने हामी चाहिँ पहिलेदेखि हामी एकदमै सानो ग्राउन्डमा खेलिरहेको थियौं तर अहिले चाहिँ हामी यहाँ खेल्न पाउँदाखेरि चाहिँ खुसी लागेको छ 4 वर्ष अगाडि चाहिँ सुन्न सक्ने व्यक्तिहरुको म्याच हुँदाखेरि चाहिँ बहिरा ग्रुप चाहिँ फर्स्ट भएको थियो अनि सुन्न सक्ने व्यक्तिहरु चाहिँ उहाँलाई चाहिँ हामीले हराएका थियौ त्यतिबेला अनि अहिले चाहिँ हामी यो विकासशीलमा चाहिँ विकासशीलले आयोजना गर्नुभएको खेलमा चाहिँ हामी यहाँ उपस्थित हुन पाउँदाखेरि चाहिँ अत्यन्तै खुसी छौं म जब 14 वर्षको थिए त्यतिबेलाखेरि चाहिँ एन्फा को त्यो सुन्न सक्ने व्यक्तिहरुसँग चाहिँ बहिराहरुको त्यहाँ चाहिँ म्याच भएको थियो त्यतिखेर चाहिँ अनि त्यसपछिबाट चाहिँ म चाहिँ सुन्न सक्ने व्यक्तिहरुसँग चाहिँ प्रतिस्पर्धामा चाहिँ उत्रिएको थिए मैदानमा हामी आशा गर्दछौं कि भविष्यमा चाहिँ बहिरा व्यक्तिहरुले विभिन्न देशहरुमा गएर अन्तर्राष्ट्रिय स्तरमा गएर चाहिँ आफ्नो खेललाई प्रदर्शन गर्न पाउनुहुनेछ भनेर म आशा गर्दछु प्रदेश 1 बाट चाहिँ जब म युवा थिए त्यतिखेर चाहिँ मलाई यो गेमको लागि चाहिँ यो फुटबल म्याच मैले हेर्ने गर्दथे अरु व्यक्तिहरुको अनि त्यो हेर्दै गर्दाखेरि चाहिँ मैले त्यो त्यसरी अनि प्र्याक्टिस पनि गर्दै जान थाले युट्युबबाट हेर्दै प्र्याक्टिस गर्न थाले अनि त्यहाँ हजुरले देख्न सक्नुहुन्छ क्याप्टेन जुन 14 नम्बर जर्सी लाउनु भएको छ त्यो क्याप्टेनले चाहिँ मलाई इन्करेज गर्नुभयो अनि खेल्नु पर्छ बहिराहरु चाहिँ लुकेर बस्नु हुँदैन भनेर उहाँले इन्करेज गरेपछि चाहिँ म खेल्ने मौका पाएँ रङ्गशालामा खेल्न पाउँदाखेरि चाहिँ एकदमै खुसी लागेको छ मलाई किनभने अन्य व्यक्तिहरुले पनि यहाँ खेलिराख्नु भएको थियो तर बहिराले चाहिँ पहिलो पटक यहाँ खेल्ने मौका पाउँदाखेरि चाहिँ हामी अत्यन्तै खुसी छौं अनि एकदम एक्साइटेड छौं सुन्न सक्ने व्यक्तिहरु र बहिरा व्यक्ति दुवै जना बराबर हुन् भन्ने कुराको पुष्टि हुन्छ यो खेल्ने मौका पाउँदा हामी अत्यन्तै खुसी छौं
That was our issue of the day. Moving on, Nepal's National Assembly has unanimously passed the Tourism Bill 2081. The bill is aimed at replacing Tourism Act of 1978, which had governed the sector for 46 years. The new legislation presented as a motion for approval by Minister for Culture, Tourism and Civil Aviation, Anil Kumar Sinha, aims to modernize the country's tourism framework, diversify offerings, attract foreign investment and create new opportunities. Tourism, a key pillar of Nepal's economy, draws visitors to its Himalayan peaks, cultural heritage sites and adventure destinations. The updated law is designed to enhance Nepal's global competitiveness, promote sustainable practices and improve infrastructure. The bill now requires presidential endorsement before taking effect, marking a major step in revitalizing one of Nepal's most important industries. A report published by the National Statistics Office shows that in Nepal, 27 children per 1,000 live births die before reaching their first birthday, while the under-5 mortality rate is 31 per 1,000 live births. The report also notes that 17 newborns per 1,000 live births die within the first month. Provincially, the highest neonatal mortality rate is in Sudur Pashchim province at 26, while the lowest is in Bagmati province at 10. Infant mortality is highest in Sudur Pashchim at 38 and lowest in Bagmati at 17. The under 5 mortality rate is highest in Sudur Pashchim at 48 and lowest in Gandaki province at 20. According to Nepal Multiple Indicators Survey 2024, the total fertility rate is 1.9 children per woman. Among adolescents aged 15 to 19, there are 48 live births per 1,000 girls, while 11.2% of women aged 20 to 24 have given birth before turning 18. Nepal and Qatar have held high-level discussions aimed at strengthening economic ties, promoting tourism and expanding civil aviation cooperation. The meeting brought together Nepal's Minister for Culture, Tourism and Civil Aviation, Anil Kumar Sinha, Qatari Ambassador to Nepal, Mishal M. Al-Ansari, and FNCCI President Chandra Prasad Thakal, along with representatives from Qatar's business community and Qatar Airways. Key topics included potential collaborations between Nepal Airlines and Qatar Airways, exploring new destinations and extending flight services to enhance connectivity. Minister Sinha emphasized the need for international airlines to fully utilize Nepal's Pokhara International Airport and Gautam Buddha International Airport, seeking Qatar Airways partnership to achieve this. Well, international news coming up next, but before that, a quick look at the headliners once again. Nepal's cabinet once again extends tenure of Gen Z Movement Probe Commission, approves order to facilitate national economic census. Nepal's Election Commission prints over 12 million ballots. Nationwide voter education campaign underway to reduce invalid votes. National Assembly withdraws social media regulation bill, passes new tourism bill. Japan's Prime Minister Takaichi secures historic LDP victory. Party wins 2/3 majority in lower house for the first time since 1947. States' apathy towards disability sports remains appalling despite Olympic glory. Promoters call for changing the mindset. And Scotland records first win at ICC T20 World Cup. Zimbabwe crushes Oman, keeping World Cup hopes alive. Thailand's Bhumjai Thai party has secured a stronger than expected win in Sunday's general election, with Prime Minister Anutin Charnvirakul claiming victory. With 93% of ballots counted, Bhumjai Thai is projected to win at least 194 of 500 parliamentary seats, putting it well ahead of rivals. The Progressive People's Party came in second with an estimated 116 seats, while Pheu Thai Party of jailed former Prime Minister Thaksin Shinawatra took third with 76. The snap election, called after less than 100 days in office, aimed to capitalize on a wave of nationalism following Thailand's 3-week conflict with Cambodia. Anutin described the outcome as a victory for all Thais, signaling a strong mandate for his government. Russian overnight drone attacks across Ukraine have killed at least 4 people, including a mother and her 10-year-old son. The fatal strike hit a residential area in the town of Bohodukhiv in eastern Kharkiv. The attack also caused widespread power outages, leaving tens of thousands without electricity. Ukraine's authorities are continuing to assess the damage and have called for increased vigilance as the conflict persists. The incident highlights the ongoing threat to civilians amid the prolonged hostilities in eastern Ukraine. Protests took place in Australian cities of Sydney and Melbourne during Israeli President Isaac Herzog's visit to Australia. In Sydney, police used pepper spray and made multiple arrests during a demonstration. Herzog is on a 4-day visit to meet Australia's Jewish community and the families of victims of the Bondi Beach mass shooting in December, which killed 15 people. In Melbourne, crowds gathered to express concerns about Israel's policies in the Palestinian territories. A Sydney court rejected a legal challenge by the Palestine Action Group, which had organised the march against the restrictions. New South Wales Police maintained a visible presence and coordinated with organisers. During his visit, Herzog spoke at Bondi Beach and met with the families of the December mass shooting victims. A rare natural phenomenon is attracting visitors to an abandoned railway tunnel in South Korea. Icicles are forming from the ground upward, appearing to defy gravity. The tunnel is part of the former Gyeongwon Railway, which once connected to Wonsan in North Korea during the Japanese colonial period. It was later used by North Korean Army as an ammunition warehouse during the Korean War. Bombing by U.S. forces caused cracks in the ceiling, allowing water to seep through and freeze, forming the so-called reverse icicles. Authorities report that despite freezing temperatures, tourists continue to visit the site, making it a notable winter attraction in the region. Time for a short breather here. Business news when we come back.
Japanese stocks surged to a record high on Monday as Prime Minister Sanae Takaichi's Liberal Democratic Party basked in a historic election victory. The LDP secured 316 out of 465 seats in Sunday's election, the first time a single party has won a two-thirds lower house majority since Japan's parliament was established in its current form in 1947. The Nikkei 225 index rallied by more than 5% in early trade on Monday, briefly crossing the 57,000 mark for the first time. It then gave up some gains but still closed up 3.9% at a record high of 56,363.94. Japanese stocks rose, bonds fell, and the battered yen recovered some ground on Monday after the LDP's win was seen as enabling decisive action on fiscal stimulus. China has introduced its first humanoid robot for the diagnosis and treatment of autism, offering new possibilities for early screening, rehabilitation, and long-term care. Designed to capture and interpret subtle brain signals through non-invasive, high-precision EEG technology, the robot translates these signals into coordinated movements, enabling natural and varied interactions with children. The platform combines brain-computer interface technology with humanoid robotics, providing objective data for therapists to design personalized treatment plans. Supported by 11 national key research programs, the robot is already in use at hospitals and autism rehabilitation centers across China, and researchers say the technology could eventually extend to rehabilitation for stroke, spinal cord injuries, and other motor impairments. Clothing stores in France have been halved since 2013, and more closures are expected. Shopkeepers report that customers increasingly browse in stores but complete purchases online. Commercial vacancy in city centers nationwide increased from 9.73% in 2023 to 10.64% in 2024 and could reach 30% in 3 years. Bourges, a city in central France, benefits from cultural events and local defense industry activity, but online shopping continues to draw spending away from city centers. The government has announced measures including AI training for retailers, deployment of commerce managers, incentives for business creation, higher taxes on vacant properties, and a small parcel tax to limit imports from China. Local authorities say these initiatives may not be sufficient to address rising vacancy and international competition. Beijing residents shop for spring couplets and festival foods, as well as watch lantern shows as they prepare to celebrate the upcoming Lunar New Year of the horse. The horse, which is the seventh animal in the 12-year Chinese zodiac cycle, is traditionally associated with high energy, intelligence, and a free-spirited, independent nature. The Chinese New Year falls on February 17 this year, and the official holiday lasts 9 days. The holiday period also marks one of the busiest and most important seasons for businesses across China. Retailers, restaurants, and e-commerce platforms experience a sharp surge in consumer spending as families purchase gifts, new clothing, specialty foods, and decorations believed to bring good fortune. The annual travel surge generated by the holiday is expected to generate a record 9.5 billion inter-regional passenger trips during the 40-day period running from February 2nd to March 13 this year.
And with that, we move on to sports update. Jhapa 11 Football Club advanced to the semi-finals of 7th Jhapa Gold Cup in Birta Mode, Jhapa district in eastern Nepal. In the first quarter-final, Jhapa defeated Sikkim's Singling Sporting Club, India, 4-3 in a penalty shootout after a goalless 90 minutes. During the shootout, Jhapa 11's Roman Bhujel, Saurabh Dhimal, Rajesh Dahal and Vivek Magar scored successfully. The Nepali side kept constant pressure on their Indian opponents from the 28th minute onward. Goalkeeper Vivek Magar was named player of the match. Tomorrow, the second quarter-final will see Tribhuvan Army Club face Laliguras Association, both from eastern Nepal. The tournament winner will receive a cash prize of 1.5 million Nepali rupees, roughly $12,700 US. Laliguras Football Club has advanced to the semi-finals of the 26th International Invitational Bunasuba Gold Cup after defeating host Dharan Football Club 5-4 in a tie-breaker. The match at Dharan Stadium ended goalless in regulation time and extra time as well, with Laliguras impressing through a strong defensive display. Ram Thapa, Tikaraj Gurung, Sudeep Gurung, Abdul Yusuf and Ashish Gurung scored in the tiebreaker for Laliguras. Goalkeeper Kumba Dewa was named man of the match. Despite strong home support, 5-time runners-up Dharan were eliminated. The tournament winner will receive 1 million Nepali rupees in prize money, and tomorrow's match will be between Jhapa 11 and Sadabata Youth Club, Kathmandu. Time now for the weather updates, first from Nepal and then from the world. Before we wrap up this bulletin, here's a look into the headlines once again. Nepal's cabinet once again extends tenure of Gen Z movement probe commission, approves order to facilitate national economic census. Nepal's election commission prints over 12 million ballots, nationwide voter education campaign underway to reduce invalid votes. National Assembly withdraws social media regulation bill, passes new tourism bill. Japan's Prime Minister Takaichi secures historic LDP victory. Party wins 2/3 majority in lower house for first time since 1947. State's apathy towards disability sports remains appalling despite Olympic glory. Promoters call for changing the mindset. And Scotland records first win at ICC T20 World Cup. Zimbabwe crushes Oman, keeping World Cup hopes alive. That is all for the moment here on NTV World News Hour. Do join us through our social media and also visit our official website nepaltelevision.com for more updates and information. I'm Sarah Sapsanamarai. Thanks for staying with us. Good night.
During Lichavi period, Chango Narayan was also known as Dola Shikhar, which refers to a mount or hill in the shape of Doli.